Welcome back here to TSRS round number 2. We are here at North Texas Kart in beautiful Denton, Texas. We're going to get kicked off here for day number 2 of round number 2. First up is going to be our heat races. And again, if you don't remember from tuning into yesterday of how heat races work, again, it's like a golf point system. You got heat, qualifying. That sets you for both heat races 1 and 2. We had heat race number 1 yesterday. After that, we go into heat race number 2. Again, you start in the same spot where you qualified at. From there, they take your points average between the two, and that'll line you up for the features this afternoon. So how it's going to work today is we have heat number 2. There is no LCQ for the KA100 Senior. So we'll go into our full lunch break, which is roughly about an hour and 15 minutes. From then, we'll then go into our main events. And that brings me to point number 2. If you haven't yet and you'd like to see all of the main events live around the country from Kart Chaser, not just here in TSRS, but also from the STARS program, USPKS, and SCUSA, you can sign up for our premium membership program on YouTube. It is $9.99 a month. Unless you sign up with an Apple device, then there's going to be an extra $2 charge. That does not affect us in any way, shape, or form. It's something Apple has. So if you sign up with an Android of any kind of device, it'll be $9.99 a month. It doesn't charge you until the end of the month, so you can tune in. And again, you don't get just TSRS. You get TSRS, SCUSA, Route 66, USPKS, and also SCUSA Pro Tour. And Tristan, you are joining me here in the booth. This is your first full weekend as an announcer. How are you feeling so far?
Feeling pretty good. I think this weekend's gone pretty well, getting the flow better throughout the day yesterday. And I'm looking forward to today. I'm looking forward to these heat races, especially our headline K100 Senior class sponsored by Exertech. I think it's going to be an amazing battle here today, Caleb.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a fantastic series to get going. It's a regional series, so it's a mix between the nationals and the local guys. Kind of brings them both together, and you can get a mix of the both. The local guys can get a taste of what it's like to run in a national series to see if it's something they want to pursue. And for the national guys, it's a great way to stay in touch. It's a great way to stay in shape, keeping your mind set. And then also, sometimes they have some challenge from the local guys who come out, have been racing here all weekend long, maybe don't have the budget or the plan to go to the national series, and they can take it to the national guys. So the first group out is going to be our Mini Swifts, and they are sponsored by Alan Rudolph Racing Academy. Again, we want to thank all of our main series sponsors, along with our main one of Auction ETX. So, with that, we're about to get underway here with our Mini Swift. And again, this is going to start heat races. Going with our heat races. Once we get going with our heat races, again, that is going to be approximately 10. There's going to be 2 heat races for KA100 Senior, but after that, it's going to get shriveled down into 1. And again, the way how the KA100 class works, it's 2 groups split between 2 groups within the 2 groups. So you have A and B and C and D. So yesterday we saw the heat race happen between A versus B and C versus D. Today we get to see B versus C and A versus D, again taking the point system average. That is going to line them up for the feature. And something that's interesting too, Tristan, was we've seen a couple of guys yesterday who didn't qualified well, ran well in the heat race, suddenly had some mechanical problems or some incident that took them out. Now they're starting at the back of the field. Tristan, how do you think that's going to pan out for them when it comes time for the feature?
Well, they still have one more heat race left here, Caleb. So if they are able to do well in their second heat race, their points average will at least put them about mid-pack or at least close to it. So they will be able to start very decent for the feature, and then from there, given that they're fast, they'll be able to work their way up and maybe score a podium here today, Caleb.
Yes, that is very true. And taking to the track right now, again, is your Mini Swift. And your front row is going to go as follow. We got Emmett Iddles, who's going to be starting P number 1 next to Gage Bailey. Tyler Roberts starts in P number 3. Derek Wago starts on the outside of row number 2. Davis Henry starts in P number 5 next to David Yabara. Noah Perez starts in P7 next to Tyrone Kemper Jr. Pato Canada starts in P9 next to Haley Stouffer. Haley Stouffer. P11 goes to Eli Hobson. P12 is going to be Mason Bari. And the 13th position is going to be Bobby Klein. And then P14 goes to Matthew Duckett. So that is going to be your 14 drivers taking the way here for your Mini Swift. They are coming around now to the infamous hairpin of Turn 6, which Tristan, as we see from yesterday, is one of the best passing opportunities. What should we look out for from heat race number 2 from yesterday?
Heat race number 2 today, I think that yet again the grip at this track with that Rhino liner they have down in some of these corners, especially this infamous hairpin here, Turn 6. With these Mini Swift, these smaller karts, they tend to do this phenomenon called bicycling here, Caleb, where they go up on 2 wheels, and that can be very detrimental to not only your lap time, but it can also maybe induce a traction flip, in which case these drivers will flip the kart over solely based off of the grip here, and it's not something great. But that Rhino liner, there's not much you can do about it, Caleb.
Yeah, we saw, thankfully no one went over on their lid yesterday, but we did see some guys getting up on two-wheel. Typically, the way to counter that is you have to lean into the corner. Typically, like you know from running in the KA and the 206 class, when it comes to a lean, you have to lean the opposite direction to get more grip, but because they have so much, they have to lean into it to prevent a flip. Now, we're going to go green for our first seat race. Again, this is your Mini Swift. Green flag is not going to be presented this time, I do not believe. They're going to go one more time by. So that gives us more time to talk about some other factors from the weekend, and the biggest one we saw as we watched these guys really start to woe it down. Another factor here, aside from how much grip they have, is the amount of banking that we've seen here. Turn number 1 and turn 2 is a little bit of an interesting factor because they have this long straightaway of the main stretch coming out of a quick chicane, and then you go into the big banking in turn 1, and as we've seen yesterday, some guys like to wash up a little bit, and if you dip a wheel, you're way off the track.
Exactly, Caleb. Another thing I'd like to point out, I went on a quick track walk yesterday down the front straightaway, and I noticed that this track is very skinny, which is going to make it hard for a passing opportunity into turn 1 here. Yet we see a lot of drivers taking that opportunity. Along with that, the banked corner does not make it any easier to complete a pass here, Caleb.
Yeah, I think there's multiple factors that play out into it. Again, this is one of the longest tracks that have been running in the country. There's only a handful that have been going longer. Probably one of the best ones as far as it comes for opportunity for racing, as we've seen here with the hairpin. It causes everyone to bunch back up. I think aside from maybe 1 or 2 classes, we didn't really see anyone able to walk away from the field, especially here with the slower horsepower divisions like your Micro and your Mini Swifts. Again, they are restricted. This one isn't restricted. The Micro will be restricted, but this is a 60cc engine. Typically, kids who are running in this class have the option when they get old enough to either go into the 206 program and or the KA100. Typically, the KA100 is what you see when you run in the National Series. 206 maybe more local, or some other series like Stars or some other regional series. So right now, these kids are trying to cut their teeth, but don't make that be mistaken. They always put on a good show. Usually very good expert driving from these kiddos, and like we say, when it comes to pack racing, there's a little bit of maturity that has to come into it as far as knowing when to pass, when not to pass. Another reason why these kiddos stay bunched up. So we're about to have attempts number 2 at a start. Again, that is Emmett Eddolds and Gage Bailey as your front row. Green flag is out. Bailey on the high side. Emmett is on the inside. And they're going to stay relatively side by side and slotting into second place. Bailey's struggling just a little bit. He is now going to lose that to third place with Tyler Roberts. So Roberts is now up into P2, and Bailey falls back into P number 3 as they make their way to the chicane.
Yes, Eddles leading the way through the chicane here. We have a bunch of 4 karts. That's Eddles, Bailey, Roberts, and Wargo heading down into turn 6. We have Roberts going through for the lead here on Eddles, makes it stick. Looks like that could be Wargo coming through as well, going to make it happen. Is Bailey going to look too? They're going side by side through our chicane here. Ooh, a little bit of a mishap there from Eddles, getting a little bit on that outside of our number 178 of Derek Wargo.
Yeah, a little bit of I don't want to say too aggressive of a start, but typically the first couple laps is one of the most hectic starts when everyone's trying to sort themselves out, and then from there it starts to settle back down. So now your top runner is going to be Tyler Roberts, Bailey running in P2, and there's a side-by-side pass somewhere back in the field that looks to be about the 7th or 8th position. That's somewhere back in the likes of Tyrone Kipper Jr., David Ybarra, Davis Henry, but we can keep you guys updated on that when they come by next time by. But right now we are watching the leaders. There's the front 2 starting to pull away. Again, that is Roberts and Bailey who are going out in front. From then you have Eddles running in P number 4 and Tyrone Kipper Jr., who is in that 5th position. And it's not unlike yesterday when we saw them all bunched up in the top 7 to 8. Now they're starting to get themselves spread out in the top 4 there, Tristan.
Exactly. Roberts looks this last time by lap 2 had a 4/10 gap back to your 169 of Gage Bailey. Then we have another 6/10 gap back to Wargo. So it seems like we have a pretty spread out field, but we can see the number 106 of David Ibarra coming through here as he goes purple last time by to catch up to this 5-kart lead pack here, Caleb.
Yeah, and again, just a reminder of how this heat race works. It's 8 minutes plus 2 laps. So once they hit about the 8-minute mark, you're going to see 2 sticks up in the air, usually the white and the checkered, meaning 2 laps to go. Then you'll see the white flag and then the checkered. So unlike how you do it in I want to say a normal national series when it's a set amount of laps where you can be looking at your micron to figure out what lap you're on, these kiddos now have more of a guessing game. It's a lot more strategy that comes into it, something I personally like because it's a guaranteed time that you're on track. Once you see the 2 to go is typically when everyone starts to get a lancy. So look for the top 2 right now. Again, Roberts out in front. Bailey in P2 is now starting to close back up after going purple last lap. He's in the toe. Let's see if he makes a move on the inside in turn 6. He does not. He is going to stay right behind. I think he's going to try to possibly push Roberts away from the field to build up more of a gap.
Exactly, Caleb. Gage Bailey making up a ton of ground that last lap as he goes purple on the 3rd lap. 2/10 faster than your leader of Tyler Roberts. Then we still have Wargo, Eddles, and Ibarra in that second pack trying to catch up. Wargo goes purple last time by, so we can see as that three-pack group of Edels, Ibarra, and Wargo are starting to catch up to the rear end of Roberts and Bailey. We are sure that Bailey knows that number 178 cart of Derek Wargo is starting to catch up to the back of him. So we're going to have to see if he's going to make a move here on the 199 of Tyler Roberts here, Caleb.
Yeah, and last time by, Wargo went purple, so he's got the speed. And like you were talking about yesterday when it comes to setting up for tire pressures and qualifying, it's kind of the same for the heat races. Do you want to be fast off the start? Or do you want to go fast for the long-term game here? And we've seen typically some guys out in front pull away immensely from the start, and then they gradually start to back it back up, whether the tires are wearing off, as we see a pass on the inside for the 4th position. That was going to be, if I'm not mistaken, Ybarra getting around Wargo. Oh, no, that was actually Henry getting around Edels for the 5th position. As we now watch, and there's a beautiful shot of the front 3. Last time by, David Ybarra in the 4th position went purple, so we could see possibly a 4-car battle for the lead. But right now the top 3 of Roberts, Bailey, and Wargo heading down into turn 6. And like you said before, kind of equal spacing in the top 3, but they have slowly started to bunch back up.
Yeah, just like you were talking about air pressure here, Derek Wargo we can see is getting faster throughout the end of this race compared to your first and second runners of Roberts and Bailey as they're faster on the start. Looks like Bailey is on the rear bumper now of Roberts going into turn 1. Isn't going to decide to make a move. He's going to stick right behind Roberts and just decide to push him. We have to remember here, Caleb, that it is a heat race. So these drivers are focused more about the points than they are about their final finishing position. As long as Roberts and Bailey stay up in the front, they're guaranteeing themselves a good position here in the final when they start. Is Bailey going to look out into turn 6? He is not. He's going to stick behind. But we can see as Derek Wargo is slowly catching up to the rear end of your 169 of Gage Bailey here, Caleb.
Yeah, you bring up a good point about the points in the heat races system that we have here. It's one thing to try to make a pass for the lead, but it's another knowing that if you make it and it goes wrong, whether you lose momentum, not even has to take you out. But if you lose 4 or 5 positions, those are valuable points that you've just lost right off the bat. You're going to start back farther in the field. So it's kind of a long-term game, short-term pain game you have to play to figure out how things are going to work here as we are now watching the top 3. I say that, but just now into the view of the top 4, David Ybarra went purple last time by again, and he's not quite there to the back bumper of Wargo. He's slowly starting to reel him in as down the inside for another pass. That was going to be Henry. That was Wargo getting around Bailey for the 2nd position. So all sorts of action happening out in the front as there's a good shot. Sorry, that was the 3rd and 4th. That was going to be, Ybarra getting around Wargo as they continue to go nose to tail across the line. It's now going to reset. Wargo was not able to go, Ybarra was not able to go purple again, probably because the battle is happening back and forth. But we got a 2x2 pack now, and the top 2, I don't want to say are pulling away, but I think because the hustle and tussle that's happening from behind them is starting to create more separation.
Exactly, Caleb. We saw there as Wargo made a little bit of a mistake exiting that chicane here on the back straightaway. That chicane, a very rough corner as we see here. 2 massive curbs that these drivers are trying to navigate their way around. It's a very, very tough corner, and some mistakes get made. Gage Bailey still on the rear bumper of your leader, Tyler Roberts. We have Ibarra and Wargo 3rd and 4th. 2 2-cart packs here leading the way for this mini Swift sponsored by Alan Rudolph Racing Academy.
Yeah, so like you said, time is continuing to dwindle down. So the lap times are running about 40 seconds a lap. So we may see about 2, possibly 3 laps before they get 2 to go. So there's still a couple of laps left. There's a quick look over the shoulder from Gage Bailey. I think Bailey may be trying to play the long-term game here and wait till he sees the 2 to go to make his move. I think he knows that he may be slightly faster than Roberts at some parts of the track. Roberts can certainly make it back up, especially if he has the toe of Bailey. So I think he's going to try to wait here. He doesn't really have a whole lot to worry about from behind. Obviously, David Ybarra and Derek Wargo are there running in 3rd and 4th. However, they are trailing by about 1.2 seconds. So if there is a pass made, it's going to back the field up. But maybe if they make 1 or 2, then you're going to see 4 cars battling it out for the lead.
Exactly. Tyler Roberts through turn 2 there went a little bit wide, allowed Gage Bailey to catch up to the rear bumper. Gage Bailey throws a quick look over the shoulder heading down the straightaway into turn 6 here. Is he going to look for a move? Not yet close enough. We only have a minute left until we have two laps to go here, which means they could be getting another 4 laps here. Gage Bailey is certainly going to be looking around for a passing opportunity here on Tyler Roberts. David Ibarra is a fast go-kart, has a 5/10 gap to your number fourth place of Derek Wargo, and they're going to be looking here for a passing opportunity here, Caleb.
Yeah, we're watching now. Again, these are your leaders out in front. That is Roberts and Bailey. Just behind in the distance, you can kind of see in the camera view is both Ybarra and Wargo running in third and fourth. There's a good shot of it as they make their way through that chicane, coming onto this front straightaway, down into turn 6. Let's see if there's a pass on the inside. Again, Bailey continues to follow, as you were saying before. He is probably going to try to sit and wait. He's playing student right now. Figure out what the guy in front of you is doing. Figure out where you're faster. And honestly, that's going to work disadvantagely to Tyler Roberts because Roberts has no idea where Bailey is faster or slower at. All he can feel is when Bailey gives him a push, especially down this front straightaway, coming into that turn number 1 complex. This time by, it looks like they are not going to go 2 to go, so it's probably going to be 2 to go next time by. About 3 laps left. Last time by, David Ybarra in the third place went purple yet again, so he is still the fastest kart on track. Not quite in camera view. He is slowly making his way up there. All he needs is about 1 or 2 passes from the leader. There is the third placement of David Ybarra as they make their way into turn 3. And so you can see just how much of a gap he is trying to make up. Not a lot in proximity, like I said before. 1 or 2 passes and he'll be right there.
Exactly, Caleb. David Ibarra, a very good driver here, slowly catching up to the rear end of your front 2 pack, Tyler Roberts and Gage Bailey. Gage Bailey down the inside into turn 1 on Tyler Roberts, makes it stick. As we go into turn 2, is Roberts going to look back on the inside? He's not. Now we are going to have to watch as we have 2 laps to go here. Gage Bailey, your new leader, is going to start thinking about defending here from Tyler Roberts. David Ibarra now slowly catching up to the back end of this group. Roberts takes a quick look over his shoulder into turn 6, knows that David is coming, and they are going to have to start looking about a battle here coming to this last lap, Caleb.
Yeah, they're coming down to the white flag. There's a pass on the inside. Roberts is able to get around Bailey, and now here comes Wargo up into the distance. We got 3 karts with 1 lap to go. Driving in the middle of the track is that is Roberts to defend, respectively so, as he makes his way into turn 1. He doesn't want to give up any racing line. And Ybarra got a little loose there on the exit, loses about 4 or 5 kart lengths. I think he'll be able to make it back up in this turns 2 and 3 complex. Now coming into turn 3, Ybarra catching back up, runs a little wide, trying to carry momentum through the chicane for the final time coming into turn 6. How's this one going to pan out? Roberts look on the inside to defend. Here comes Bailey from behind. Wargo just off in the distance. Defending on the inside was Roberts. He holds the line. Now can he hold it to the straight? Ybarra is going to try for a crossover move and get the momentum. Look for a side-by-side for him for second. Out of the final corner. Coming down to the straight. Ybarra thought about going the inside. Roberts defends. Not enough from the 2 from behind. It's almost had a 3-wide finish across the line. It was Roberts in P1, Bailey in P2, Ybarra in 3rd, Derek Wargo finishing in 4th, and Emmett Edolds rounds it out in the 5th position. There's the rest of your order. We're going to send it to another commercial break. When we come back, we have your 206 Senior, sponsored by Cruise Racing Development. So stay tuned and don't go anywhere.
USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parolin Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParolinUSA.com.
Welcome back here with Kart Chase. We're looking at our 206 Senior, sponsored by Cruise Racing Development. Front row, Caden Wolf and Landon Melson. Second row, Ethan Wolf and Ava Elder. We're looking down here right now if we're going to have a green flag for our start. We do. Caden Wolf down the inside, followed by Ethan Wolf, these two brothers. Are they going to make it stick? They are around the outside of Melson. Melson's going to try to hold the outside of Ethan Wolf. We saw yesterday some of these drivers had a little bit of a hiccup here on the start, so they're going to be looking to keep a very smooth and consistent race here so they can gather up their points for our final race here, Caleb.
Yeah, and the thing we've seen about the two brothers, both Cruz and Ethan, who are running in both the comp karts out in front, since they're brothers and also teammates, look for them to possibly working together as they are now trying to see if they can't pull away from themselves from the field. But something we saw yesterday, Tristan, was it wasn't really possible to put a gap on, especially in the 206 class. The top 5 to 10 usually stayed relatively close to each other, as we're now watching now. There's a 4-pack out in front. Again, that is both Wolves of Caden and Ethan, as there is a pass on the inside. Oh, a little wide, and it looks like we had one possibly go around. He was somehow able to save it. But again, that top 4 is Wolf, that is Caden and Ethan. Ethan last lap went purple with Landon Melson, followed by Cone Summers, who is now running in P number 4. So that's your top 4. And just off the distance in P number 5 is Tyler Stevens, who is trying to trail as much as he can. Look for right now, a little bit of hustle and tussle for your 4th placement there. That was Summers trying to see if he couldn't get on the inside of Melson. But as I was saying, because of stuff like that, Tyler Stevens in the 5th position may slowly start to find himself reeling in the top 4 if they continue to go back and forth.
Exactly, Caleb. These 206s, a heavy drafting class. You will not be able to pull away by yourself, or you can, but it's very rare. So we have our two brothers out here, Caden Wolf and Ethan Wolf, leading the pack. We see Summers go in for a move on Landon Melson. He makes it happen. Summers throws his hands up in the air, telling the number 625 Landon Melson, come on, work together with me here. We have to catch up to these two brothers. They know that those 2 green comp karts out in front are a train out here, and they're going to be running away from this pack here, Caleb.
Yeah, and sorry, mistake there in your P5. That is actually Ava Elder, who is running in the 5th position. And because of that pass that happened for the 3rd position, she now finds herself inside the top 5 as they make their way down to turn at number 1. So now we have a 5-pack out in front. And as you're saying, both the Wolves of Caden and Ethan, they got about a 3-car length advantage from the 3 that are running from behind. But again, the way that this track runs when you go into the banking corners, when you go into the hairpin, it really bunches them back up. This track flows really well, and also with all the grip that's put down because of the Rhino liner, they're able to roll any line inside or outside in those corners, able to close them back up as they make their way through the chicane, heading down to turn number 6. Look at that. We got a 5-pack out in front. Both Wolves are leading.
We have a pass down the inside. That's your 3rd place of Cohen Summers on the inside.
Oh, they're 3 wide.
Wolf. We're 3 wide now. Wolf gets back through. They smooth back out here, back into the position they were in. So we have both Wolves out in front, Caden and Ethan respectively. Back to Cohen Summers, Melson, and Ava Elder. Oh, we have Ava Elder down the inside here of Melson. Is she going to make it stick? Not going to happen. They're going to smooth it back out. Now these 206 races, these 206s are very momentum-based, so you have to keep your average speed up. That's why we see these two brothers of Caden and Ethan Wolf working together here, not battling like some of these other drivers, Summers, Melson, and Elder. They're battling a little bit. They want to make up position, but both Wolves know that they have to work together in order to pull away from these 3 drivers here, Caleb.
Yeah, Ava made that attempted pass going into turn 1, and then just like that, the way how this class runs, she is able to close it back up. She now finds herself on the back bumper, the 4th placement of Landon Melson as they make their way down towards the start-finish straight. Look at Wolf out there on front. Caden had to peek back, seeing his brother's pushing, but he wants to see how many karts are behind him, and that is exactly 4, not including his brother. Oh, and that was the other Wolf. That was second placement, Ethan Wolf. Ethan Wolf goes off, comes somehow able to save it, and he's going to fall to the back of that 5-pack. And there's a little bit of a break there from the top 3. So that is Caden still out in front. Summers now in P2. Melson up into 3rd. And then back there, Ava Elders is now in the 4th position. Right behind her is Ethan. Yep, pass on the inside. Possible new leader change. They're still door-to-door. And now on the inside for a huge crossover is your 3rd placement. And they're going to cross him up again. So that is Wolf now falling back into 3rd. And if I'm not mistaken, Summers is now out in front with Melson in P number 2.
This is a great battle here in our 206 class. Now, after that big incident, ooh, we have a new leader change. That looks like Melson on the inside of Summers. Summers is going to cross him over.
Oh, they're
3
3
wide
wide.
into turn 2. Oh, we have a big incident. We have a driver off in turn 2.
I think that was Summers that went off.
I believe it was here, Caleb. Now we're going 2 wide here. Now a big thing to consider here, this big battling that we have now from our front 4-pack of drivers. This battle has now allowed our new 5th place and 6th place drivers to gain a bit of an advantage on these drivers. We could be seeing almost a 10-cart lead pack here, Caleb, going into what looks to be 5 minutes to go here.
Yeah, that whole screen is now full of carts. That is 1 through 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is out in front as they're side by side. Here comes Wolf trying to see if he can't roll the outside line going into turn 1. He's not able to get it done, so that is Ava Elder who is still leading out in front. And you can see a couple of hand signals from behind, like, all right, let's calm this down a little bit. I was a little too early as we're just now at 5 minutes and roughly 20 seconds into it. There's still 3 minutes to go before they get 2 laps to go, so there's still plenty of time. And look at that train of carts making their way through the chicane. They're all nose to tail. Now everyone inside that top 8 has a possibility for a win, making their way into turn 6. Little bit of a accordion effect as they all get bunched back up. And now we got even more into it. The 2 looking on the outside as there's a pass in the mid-pack. I believe that was Wolf able to make up 1 more position. And now we got 2 more into it. It's a 10-pack battle for the lead.
This is amazing racing here. We have another pass. That looks like Summers down the inside of Wolf here again, reclaiming that 3rd place position. Wolf is going to stick his nose down into turn 2, going to make it stick. Oh, now we have Tregery and Stevens looking through as well. We are 2 wide here going into turn 3. Whole lot of battles here. A driver off, throwing hand signals up into the air, going back into the back of this lead pack here, Caleb, that Burrell Art Cart. Now, we have Elder and Wolf out in front. We're going to look now as if they will not be able to pull away. They will, but we do have Summers and what looks to be Ethan Wolf here trying to catch up to the back of Wolf and Elder here. We now have a massive, massive train, what looks to be almost 10 carts here coming down. 2 minutes to go until we get our 2 laps. Seems like everybody is staying in line here into turn 1, Caleb.
Yeah, a little bit of incident that happened going into turn 4 allowed the pack to break up. So it is now Elders in P2, Wolf out in front. They're your 2 leaders, and they have about a 2-car length advantage over the 3rd placeman of Ethan Wolf, who is running in 3rd. Well, now he is in 4th because it was Tragey who was able to get around right behind him. That was not Summers that went off. We will give updates later on that one. And also up in the mix, you got Landon Fitz, and you also have Kelvin Zing, who I always talked about, someone who somehow manages to find his way inside the top 5 by the end of the race. He is very much a long-term driver as he thinks about the finishing and not how he's running currently. So look for him to slowly maybe make up a couple positions for the future. Here's a pass on the inside. Down, that's for the pass for 3rd. Mark that one in the books. That is going to be Tragey now up
Summers
in the 3rd
down the
position.
inside as well, as we also see Landon Fitz going through here on Wolf in turn number 2.
He tried to get in, wasn't able to make it happen. He falls back in a line. But again, what happened from the 2 Wolf brothers being dominant out in front, now the highest placing Wolf is Caden Wolf, who's sitting in the 3rd position as out in front, or sorry, 2nd position, as we're now watching the battle for 5th. Making the way down into turn 6. You're going to see the 2 at the bottom of your screen. Then there's the rest of the pack. Again, that is the 3rd placeman leading out in front of now Tregery. And then right behind him is Wolf, Summers, and Fitz.
Great drive here from Ava Elder, your leader, being followed by Caden Wolf. Ava Elder looks like they were back starting about the 4th place position, was hanging at the back of that lead pack here at the start after all those little incidents and hiccups. Oh, we have Wolf getting a little loose here in turn 2. That's going to harm him as he falls off the back of Ava Elder here, Caleb.
Yeah, he was able to recover. It's going to take him a lap or 2 to catch back up. We had just crossed over the 8-minute mark, so look for this time by to see 2 to go. You can see him all the way down the wheel trying to recoup whatever speed that he lost. And again, that hairpin just slows down everyone. But if you're able to work that toe to your advantage, you can close the gap significantly, as we see now. Wolf able to close back up. Now he's going to have the draft to his advantage. Look for him to duck down on the wheel. Also on the wheel is Ava Elder out in front, your leader. She's going to get 2 to go this time by. And she's got a good gap. She's got 2 cart lengths before the 2nd placement of Wolf, and there's about a 5 or 6 cart length break before we get to the 3rd, 4th, and 5th placement of both Summers, Tregery, and Wolf, who is in the caboose as Wolf now sends it on the inside. Let's see if he can make it stick. They're still side by side through the chicane. He can't get it done. He's going to have to yield and stay in the 5th position.
Wolf making very aggressive moves here. He started higher up. Looks like he started 3rd of Ethan Wolf, number 2. So he has fallen back a little bit. He knows he's a fast cart, but he is going to try to battle his way back up. He wants to gain all the points he can during these heat races so he can start as far up maybe close to his brother of Caden Wolf. They're going to want to be starting together here. But your leader, Ava Elder here, Cohen Summers goes purple last time by in that third position. He is a fast go-kart, but with that 1 second gap to the back of your 622 of Caden Wolf, I just don't think it's going to happen here on the last lap.
Yes.
Caden Wolf here right on the bumper of your 624 of Ava Elder.
Yeah, this is the final lap. Ava Elder out in front. Wolf was able to catch back up, but he is not going to be close enough coming into turn 6. This is the last major passing opportunity. Through turn 6, Ava's got to be perfect. Wolf carrying all sorts of speed, closing up, but I don't think he's got enough momentum. Kisses the back bumper of Ava Elders as they make their way out of turn number 7. Coming down to line, they spread back out. Elders up on the wheel, and it looks like it's going to be smooth sailing and a checkered flag. Ava Elder is going to move up. If I'm not mistaken, that was 3 positions to take the win here this afternoon. Caden Wolf comes across in P number 2. Cone Summers finishes in P number 3. Traegery finishes in P number 4. Ethan Wolf rounds out your top 5. A fantastic 206 event, to say the least, from Heat Race number 2. We're going to go wait till another commercial break. When we come back, your Micro Swifts are up next.
If you're looking for top-grade equipment, look no further than Rev Performance Materials, engine mounts, sprockets, and arcade chains. Available online now at revperformancematerials.com and through a dealer near you. The highest quality material, built to the highest quality standards. Rev Performance Materials. USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parallel Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParallelinUSA.com.
And welcome back. We are here again with Heat Race number 2. And we are now getting set with our Micro Swift, sponsored by Houston Freightline and Western Star. We want to talk about Freightline. We got a beautiful backdrop here in Denton, Texas. We got long-haul trains going all the way down. You can hear Jason Aldean off in the distance talking about the night train. That is running here at approximately 10, 11 a.m. here. Again, that is Central Time. Also, speaking of Central Time, if you haven't got the time yet, make sure you find it to sign up for our YouTube premium subscription. Again, you can watch all of the main events, not just here in TSRS, but also the Stars program, Route 66, USPKS, and the SCUSA Pro Tour. Your front row, actually the entire order is going to be sponsored by our, by our newest announcer, Tristan Farby. Why don't you take him through the top 10?
Exactly. So our front row here is your number 33 of Royce Vega and your number 21 of Aston Wyatt. We saw some great battles here between those two yesterday in our Heat Race 1. We're going to be looking to see some good battles here again today. Then we got number 17 of Colton Schneigenberg starting in your P3, number 17. Then we got Cade Casper, Emerson Lane, Nicholas Urbezo, Alex Chandler, Patricia Medina, Liam Nasrawadi, and Paxton Dyson rounding out your top 10 here for your Micro Swift. These Micro Swift drivers very young, fresh out of kid karts for some of these drivers. As now they look down, are they going to be seeing a green flag this time by? The flagman holds it, and they waves it off. Seems like we had a bit of separation here between our front 4 drivers. The flagman said, no, I do not like that start, and they're going to send them one more time around here. Royce Vega and Aston Wyatt, your front row.
Yeah, everyone's a little bit more antsy than they were yesterday. Yesterday I don't think we saw one called off start, and then today that's 2 off the bat with both our, I believe ours are 206 and our Micro Swifts, who had to go one more time by again. The flagman has the option to wave the green. The acceleration cones are the 2 cones that you see on the start-finish straight. There's 4 of them in total, 2 determine when it starts. And the second one is placed at the start-finish line. There's a good shot off to the right-hand side of the 2 cones. So if they accelerate too early, if they're broken too far up, if that outside row has too much of a jump, the flagman can decide to send it around one more time. And from that one, I think the leaders were side by side. The rest of the field just wasn't packed up where he wanted to be. So again, that is Royce Vega and Ashton Wyatt are going to be leading the rest of your field. They're making the way out of turn 6. This looks a whole lot better than last time. You can see some guys trying to put their hands up in the air to tell them to slow it back down as they make their way through the final 2 corners of 6 and 7, almost down at a walking, well, I want to say slower than a walking pace as they make their way out of turn 6, coming into turn 7. Let's see how your pace sitter and pole sitter of Royce Vega is going to have them line up. There's a flagman on track. Tell him to slow it back down. Yellow flag is out. You can see Vega trying to do a little bit of hand signals, telling the field to slow down. This looks a lot better than last time. Tristan, why don't you take this one?
These drivers going very slow. What looks to be an amazing start here. Little bit of a jump from Vega. Are we going to see it another time around? We're not. So we have your leader, Vega, getting an amazing start here down into turn 1. We're going to see 1 driver spin around and 2 more up in the air back in the mid-pack. They are going to have a rough race here today. But we look back out into the front. We have Vega, Schneigenberg. We have some of these main drivers out here in front leading the pack. Lap 1, we see some drivers going too wide through a chicane here in the mid-pack. Vega out in front, followed by what looks to be your number 21 of Aston Wyatt. They're going into turn 6 here, Caleb.
Yeah, Wyatt settling into P2, and we got a 3-pack out in front being led by Royce Vegas, make their way through turn 6 and 7. Again, in these smaller classes, like what you're talking about as far as chassis size, engine size, because this is one of the younger categories of drivers out on track. You typically see them being able to bunch up a little bit more. There's a pass on the inside. That was your 3rd placement of Wyatt, able to get around Scheisenberg for P2, or attempting, I should say. So Scheisenberg still holds on to the 2nd spot, and off in the distance in the 4th position, that is Emerson Lane, who is now slowly starting to reel in the leaders, and Emerson is going to bring along with him Alex Chandler in the 5th position. So we could easily see a 5-car battle for the lead here. They're relatively close together. They're just not nose to tail. Closest one is your 2 of Vega and Scheisenberg as they make their way out of turn number 6. There's your 3rd placement, losing just a little bit of time of Ashton Wyatt. And now, again, that chicane and that hairpin complex bunches them back up. And we got 5 carts. Ooh, 5th placement got a little loose there. That was a Chandler, dropped a wheel, loses side of the main pack just for the moment, as we still have 4 out in front. And again, that pack starting to bunch back up as we make our way on lap number 2. 8-minute lap, or 8 minutes in total, plus 2 laps. Oh, 5th placement of Chandler got wide again into turn 2. So he is struggling to hold on. As now we got a 3-pack foreman. Vega, Scheisenberg, and Wyatt nose to tail as we make the way to turn number 6.
We do now. We have Schneigenberg right on the rear bumper. Aston Wyatt also there. They're going to be on each other's bumper going in. Oh, we have Wyatt looking down the inside of Schneigenberg. Isn't going to make it happen. That's going to bobble them up a little bit and allow your leader of Royce Vega to pull a little bit of a gap here. Now, like you were saying, Caleb, these smaller classes, these 60cc Micro Swifts out here, they don't have much power, so it's going to be hard for your leader of Royce Vega to run away from your likes of Colton Scheigenberg and friends, Wyatt and Lane. They're going to be all catching up. We have a 5-car main group here, all within about a second of each other. They're going to be dicing for position here. As we look a little bit farther down the field, Nicholas Urbezo goes fast last time by lap 3. He is not going to be close enough to make moves yet. Ooh, what are we going to see here? Schneigenberg very close here on the rear bumper of Vega. We also have Wyatt looking down the inside of number 17, Colton Schneigenberg. We're heading now to the front straightaway. No drivers really close enough yet to make a move. Really just rubbing on the rear bumper. Schneigenberg down the inside. Not going to make it stick. A little bit bobbled up here in turn 1. Going to allow number 21, Aston Wyatt, to catch up to the rear bumper. Your leader, number 33, Royce Vega, staying very consistent out here in the front. We look at his lap times. He's been about within a 10th of all of his laps, so we're going to see as he's maybe going to be able to run away from your number 17, Colton Schneigenberg.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that one. It seems like everyone inside that top 5 has been throwing a pass whenever they get the chance. So if the opportunity is given, He probably will find himself losing a couple positions. Top 5, again, bunching back up. That is being led by Vega and being caboosed by Alex Chandler, who went purple last lap. That second lap around, he was a little all over the place. We dropped a wheel out of the final corner, got it in going into turn number 2 as we see side by side for the second spot. That is Wyatt going to take the spot, and following him is going to be Emerson Lane, who went purple last lap. Little wide on exit, and now just like that, Scheisenberg finds themselves back into the 4th position. Thought about trying to make a pass back, and now here comes Chandler. Chandler's going to get his nose in there, so Chandler's up one more position just like that.
Wow.
Scheisenberg went from 2nd all the way back to 5th. Top 5 once again has been broken back up, but how much longer until they bunch back up, because now your second placement, Ashton Wyatt, has got clear track and a little bit of gap from behind. He might be out of towing distance of your leader from Vegas and make their way across the start-finish straight, so look for him to tuck into the toe and see if he can't close back up.
Very unfortunate turn of events here for Scheisenberg, as he's going to drop all the way back into your 5th place position. He's going to have to start battling his way back up through the field, starting with your number 26 of Alex Chandler. He's not really close enough to make a move, but he's going to have to start thinking about it. We're seeing here the number 21 of Aston Wyatt slowly catching up to the rear end of your leader, Royce Vega. Royce Vega has been keeping it out in front this race very consistently. We see that orange helmet heading down into turn 6. But we see that number 21, Aston Wyatt, lunging deep into the corner, right on the rear bumper of Vega now. Is he going to look for a move down into our turn 1 here? We still have 3 minutes to go, plus 2 laps, so it is not vital for Wyatt to start looking down the inside yet. He knows he has a little bit of time. He knows he has a 1.2 second gap back to Emerson Lane. He's looking through now, just going to sit behind Vega. Wyatt goes purple last time by, so we know he has immense speed here, Caleb.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if you may get a little antsy coming into turn 6. I mean, you got to keep your head clear, but at the same time, you wouldn't mind leading here for a couple laps just to show that you have the speed and possibly try to pull away from Vega. As you said, he is now the fastest kart on track, turned the fastest lap last lap. He continues to work the back bumper of Vega, making the way through the turn 6 and 7 complex, coming onto the main stretch. Few lap carts out in the distance. A peek to the inside was Wyatt for the lead, decides to stay in line, making the way now into turn number 1 through the banking. Turn 2 is another good passing opportunity, but he backs off. Not close enough to make a move, and they got to be careful. As we've seen, that top 5 can run very consistently and close together. So if Wyatt and Vega aren't calm here, you could see Emerson Lane, Alex Chandler, and possibly Nicholas or Bezo, who is now cracked into the top 5, trying to see if he can make his nose and make a move onto the podium. There's some lap traffic. That's going to definitely bunch him back up. That's also going to bunch up the field just a little bit inside the top 5. To the inside goes Vega to get around. Vega struggles. Lapper's going to let second place from Wyatt go by, but Wyatt loses time, and off in the distance, there's 3rd and 4th who are able to get around with ease on the main stretch. So that 1 point, however many second gap is going to decrease as they make their way into 1 and 2. Now your second place from Wyatt has to make up all that last time.
Exactly. A thing I've been noticing here, Royce Vega, your race leader for this entire race, when he has that number 21 of Aston Wyatt right behind him, looks like he's taking a little bit of a lower line through our turn 1 here, that long sweeping left-hand banked corner. So it seems like he might be defending. He knows Wyatt is a very faster kart compared to him, but he knows that Vega is consistent, so he is going to be trying to hold off Wyatt. As we see Wyatt closing up to the rear bumper of Vega, Vega is going to feel the pressure from Wyatt. Wyatt now right in the toe, looking down into turn 1, going to stick right behind him. That orange helmet of Vega is going to be feeling the pressure here now, Caleb.
Yeah, that's Vega's going to have to go to work, like you said, maybe a little bit of a defensive line there, just like a precautionary line, making his way through now turn number 3, heading into 4 and 5. Ooh, kicked back in, got kicked out there for your leader of Vega as he went through that chicane. Let's see if Wyatt tries to capitalize. Goes straight to the back bumper. Gives him a little push going to 6. So I think you're right. I think Wyatt is going to play the long-term game here. Gap now between second and third of Wyatt and Lane is now just over a second. So they have approximately a little less than 40 seconds left. They're going to get one more time by before they get 2 to go. So down into turn 1. Again, you have to go off the micron to figure out approximately how long 8 minutes is. The problem is that your micron starts as soon as your engine kicks over. So you have to come across the line, take a middle, know what the time is, then do the math in your head and figure out exactly what time when you come across the line is going to be 8 minutes, making their way through the complex of chicanes of 4 and 5. Now heading down into turn 6. Again, Wyatt continues to follow on the back bumper of Vega, but just off in the distance, still Lane and Chandler there if they want to make a move for the leaders.
Exactly. Lane and Chandler also running. So we have 2 2-kart packs here leading the way. We have Vega and Wyatt coming down. 2 to go. The flagman has the double sticks in the air. We see Vega running just a clean line here. Emerson, Lane, and Chandler just sticking in their positions as well. A little bit farther back, 1 second back from your two-pack leaders. They're going to be looking here. That is Lane and Chandler we're looking at right now. They're sticking together. Back to Vega and Wyatt. Running through our chicane here. No moves yet. Are we going to see Wyatt looking down to the inside? Looks like he's looking for it. He is. He's going to make a pass in on Vega. Is Vega going to let it happen? He is not. Vega chops him down at the apex. Isn't going to let Wyatt by. Said, no way. You're not coming through on me here. We now have Vega, your leader, coming down into the last lap. He's going to need to look to defend from Wyatt here. He knows Wyatt is faster, but he's going to defend with his life for this win here in the heat race number 2. Micro Swift, Caleb.
Yeah, they're coming into turn number 2 for the final time for this heat race number 2. And I think your second placement of Ashton Wyatt may have used up most of his sauce in the bottle. Let's see if he's got any more that he can try to get out here as they make their way into turn 6. He's
Vega
on the back
defends.
bumper. Vega now all the way down to the inside. Wyatt has no other option to back off and try for a crossover going into the 7 and 8 chicane complex. I'm feeling a side-by-side photo finish. He's on the back bumper, making their way out of 7. Maybe pulled out of the toe a little too early, coming down to line. He gives a thumbs up, saying, all right, you got that one. That was Royce Vega taking the win here for your Micro Swift, sponsored by Houston Freight and Western Star. Ashton Wyatt finishing in P number 2. Alex Chandler comes across 3rd. Emerson Lane in 4th. And Colton Scheisenberg rounds out your top 5. There is your order coming down the screen for you now. Your top 18. We're going to send it to the commercial break. When we come back, it's the first 206 class of the day. Your 206 junior is going to make their way onto track.
How you doing? My name is Mike Doty from Mike Doty Racing from Orange County, New York. We're about an hour north of New York City. We're a full-service kart shop that we supply IAME, Rotax, and all rock engines. We sell OTK parts and all the tires for all the different series. We support USBKS, SCUSA, Rotax, which is the Stars and Stripes, and the Rock Winter Tour. What we do is we try to get the drivers better by data, driver coaching, and setup. We have a lot of good drivers that come through our program. We have a lot of experience. I've been doing it for almost 35 years, and we just try to translate that to all our customers.
For more info about Mike Doty Racing, you can contact us at MikeDotyRacing@gmail.com or call us at 845-551-0572.
Welcome back here for your 206 Junior by Seville Electric. On your front row, we have Reagan Seville and Ian Columbus. Second row, Sawyer Russell and Alfred Alvarez. And then we have Jensen Harrell, Preston Pico, Bradley, Fitz, Ramirez, and Weingart. They're going to look down here into turn 1, Caleb.
Yeah, let's see how the leaders are going to make it into turn number 1. Again, the outside line being led by Columbus. He is going to try to slot into the 3rd position as he lost 1 spot. That is going to be now your 3rd placement of Russell, making the way up into P number 2. And that is Reagan Seville still out in front. Kind of straightforward start. Not a whole lot of excitement to speak of. But you know what? We're okay with that. We kind of want everyone to have a good start because then that can make for more interesting features and make their way down into turn number 6 for the first time. Everyone going single file as they all stack up. Top 5 slowly starting to reel each other back in.
This 206 class, we have Reagan Seville out in the front. A little bit of a gap back to what looks to be Columbus. We have Seville out in front with that 4-cart track, or with that 4-cart pack, my bad. And we're going to see as that pack starts closing up to your leader of Seville. So we have Reagan Seville, Russell, Columbus, Harrell, and Alvarez out in front. We see a little bit of a passing opportunity from Columbus and on Russell. Not going to make it stick. Now we go into turn 3. We're seeing a little bit of a bobble here coming through the chicane. We're going to see after that little bit of a passing opportunity, the Harrell and Alvarez are going to catch up to the rear bumper of your 3rd position, Ian Columbus.
And there's a big pass on the inside. That was for the 4th position. So P5 to P4, that was Alfred able to get around Jensen, moving himself up 1 more position as they make their way through turns 7 and 8 complex. Now, the top 5 are relatively close, top 6, I should say, are relatively close to each other. It's a 3-pack out in front by about 2 or 4 cart length break, and they get to the other 3-pack. Last time by, Shelby Ramirez in 6th, the caboose of that main pack in the top 6 went purple. She went a 41.086, so she's now the fastest cart on track, but she's got to work cut out for her because, as we were saying, it's one thing to be quick in 206, but it's another to try to get around, not break up the pack, and then continuously work your way up.
Exactly. So we have 6 carts. We saw Shelby Ramirez coming up to the rear end of this front pack here, going purple last time by. She was able to make it up through that little bit of dicing that we saw between Alvarez, Columbus, and Harrell. We see them battling here. Now we're seeing Russell and Columbus close up on your rear bumper of Reagan Seville. Are they going to start looking for a pass? Not really. Alfred Alvarez is going to start catching up to the rear bumper of your 448 Ian Columbus. Now this 206 class, they do know that they're going to have to work together, especially that 3-cart train catching up to the rear end of your leader, Reagan Seville. They know that they're going to need to work together if they want to all win this race, or at least have a big battle. We finally see Russell pushing the rear bumper of Seville here, going down into turn 6. Seville now knows that there are drivers behind him. We see a 4-cart lead pack. Looks like we have that black cart, Reagan Seville, that shiny purple cart of Russell, Columbus, then Del Castillo. We're seeing them coming down into turn 1. No moves made yet. They know that they still have 5 minutes to go, plus 2 laps here. They know that they have a long race ahead of them, as well as a long 16-minute final event here. So it's no need to start getting dicey and possibly ruin their race here. We see Alvarez going fastest last time by, 42.399. That is 3/10 faster than your leader here, Reagan Seville. And we're going to see Russell bumping the rear bumper of Seville going into our infamous turn 6, Caleb.
Yeah, like you were talking about, top 4 relatively close and not a whole lot has happened with inside of it. That has allowed that 4-pack to pull away from Jensen Harrell and Shelby Ramirez running in the 5th and 6th position. But even inside the top 4, it's kind of breaking up. They got a 2x2 pack as there's a pass on the inside for 3rd. That is going to be Alfred. Around. I believe that was Alfred who spun it around, exiting turn number 2. Ramirez able to spin around, or incidents is happening all the way through. Incidences, as now your 2 leaders out in front, Seville and Russell, are running nose to tail. Now they have a little bit of breathing room. They got what was about a 2-car length advantage is now probably opened up to about 7 to 8, and there's still about a 2-car length break between the 2 of them. Look for them to bunch back up, but now off in the 3rd place, and I believe that was Ian Columbus who is going to be making it out in the 3rd position. So Columbus, he's going to have to try to roll as much momentum as he can after that break that happened in the pack, because now he has got no drafting and no push buddy, and Seville, opening up a 3-car length advantage, may have just came outside of the tow range for Sawyer Russell running in P number 2.
That was not Columbus running P3. Right now we have Alfred Alvarez in your P3 position. That looks like it was Ian Columbus, the driver that was getting spun around there in turn 1. we're going to have to see as Alvarez pulls off the track. Maybe there might be some controversy there between the drivers. Going to be interesting to watch. Reagan Seville, Russell, Alfred Alvarez de Castillo, your top 3 runners, all spread apart a little bit of tenths between them, about 5 kart lengths. We're going to need to see Reagan Seville knows that he is fast out in front, knows that he has a little bit of a gap after that little incident. These drivers can see in their peripheral vision during the corners. They know that there are drivers farther back. They know they have a little bit of a gap. Ooh, we have a little bit of a hiccup there from Russell, having a little bit of an issue, allowing Alvarez to close up on the rear bumper. Is Alvarez, your purple driver, your fastest driver here on track, is he going to look out for a move for that second position here from Russell?
You have to sit and watch as they continue to follow nose to tail, making the way into turn number 6. Little look on the inside. Let's see if it's going to stick. It looks like it is. So that is now, oh, there's a crossover move. So Russell's trying for a crossover. Let's see if Alfred's going to now make it be able to work as they're still side-by-side through the chicane on the exit. How's that going to pan out? And it looks like Russell's going to hold on to P2. Alfred Alvarez running in the second position. Now he's going to try to roll the high line going into turn 1. We haven't seen this one yet. How's this going to work? He is not going to gain the position. Now he is, in fact, going to lose one as Ramirez now tries it. And Ramirez and company is trying to bring Jensen Harrell as well. So now what was a battle for the second spot is now between 2 karts is now a battle for second for second on back to 5th. But your leader of Reagan Seville now continues to open up even more of a gap.
Massive gap here for Seville. That big battle between them. Seville is walking away. Seems like he might be able to check his mail and come back and still win this race. So we're going to see him walk away now. We have Alfred Alvarez de Castillo, Russell Ramirez, and Harrell. Now your battle here for the 2nd through 5th position. Seems like Harrell has fallen off a little bit of that lead. Oh, we have Ramirez around in turn 1. That is a very unfortunate turn of events. So we're going to see Harrell now move into your 4th place position here. We have what looks to be, we had Alvarez get around on Russell. So now Russell is in your 3rd place position. We're going to see Harrell now catch up to the rear bumper of Russell. Is he going to make a pass, or is he going to stay there and try to catch up to your now 2nd place Alvarez de Castillo?
Yeah, Harrell running in P number 4 right now, trying to get on the podium to see if he can't catch up to now your 3rd placeman. That is of Russell as they make their way through 6 and 7. Meanwhile, Alfred Alvarez currently starting to check out from the 2 from behind. So if there's a pass or 2, look for Alfred to be content and locked into that 2nd position. He already is almost outside of the drafting range for the 2 running from behind. And let's see, and going to turn 2, is there going to be trying to make a move on the inside of Russell? There is not. There's still nose to tail. But if those 2 are able to connect back together, they may be able to catch Alfred here shortly. Looking at the time, there's now 30 seconds before we get 2 to go. So about 2 more laps until 2 to go is presented. Coming down into turn 6. Let's see if Russell has anything for Harrell as they make their way into turn 6. Harrell does not make a move. There's still nose to tail heading into 6 or 7 and 8.
Seville, your leader. Alvarez de Castillo, number 2. Alfred Alvarez de Castillo still is your purple driver, has set fast time this race, but not by much, just a 10th, maybe not even a 10th, a little bit less. Oh, and speaking of that, we have de Castillo setting another fast lap, 42.326. Now we're looking here. That is your battle for 3rd and 4th. Sawyer and Russell and Harrell, are they going to be battling with each other here? 2 laps to go. These drivers know that, or at least Harrell knows that he has 1 position he could make up if he looks here. We see Russell taking the low line, swerving a little bit higher there into turn 6. Knows that Harrell is there, going to want to defend. So Russell set his fastest lap of the race this last time by. So we're going to see a good battle here. Both drivers here, their karts are in pristine condition. They're going down here now, 1 lap to go. Or 2 laps to go, my bad. 2
to go, and 2 karts are going nose to tail for that final podium 3rd position. As you said, Alfred Alvarez de Castillo, it continues to pull away from this pack, so I think he is safely locked into P number 2. Now it's going to be who's going to get on that podium step for the heat races and make their way through 4 and 5 chicane coming up into turn 6. Let's see if Harrell tries to make a move on Russell going into the turn number 6 hairpin. Stays on the back bumper. So look for a last lap pass to be made from Harrell onto Russell as they make their way through the chicane coming onto the final lap. White flag is going to be out for your leader who just now crosses the line. That is Reagan Seville doing a fantastic job of just maintaining his pace and staying out in front. And look at that, Alfred Alvarez de Castillo went purple that time by yet again. So he continues to show his dominance as to being one of the faster karts on track. He is not going to have enough time to catch back up to leader of Seville, but when those two come together for the feature, I think that's going to be a good show to watch. But meanwhile, let's watch the show for third. Through the chicane for the final time, heading out of 5, now coming into 6. To the inside to defend is Roussel. Harrell tried to look on the outside line. He's not going to have to try a crossover move coming out of turn 6. Doesn't quite have the momentum to set it up for 7 and 8. He is going to probably try to do a rundown to the line, but we haven't seen it work out a lot here recently. Stays into the toe. Checkered flag is out. Race winner Reagan Seville. Let's see how third place plans out as they come across the line side by side, and it's going to go to Roussel. Harrell was not able to catch back up. So it's going to be Reagan Seville, your leader. Alfred Alvarez de Castel is going to be P number 2. Sawyer Roussel in P number 3. Jensen Harrell finishes in 4th, and that is Preston Pico is going to be in 5th position. We got another commercial break, but when we come back, we got another KA class. It is going to be your KA 100 Masters, sponsored by Kart Racing Solutions, still yet to come. Stay tuned.
Kart Store USA is a kart parts supplier that racers and retailers can count on when they need reliable advice and service. We focus on servicing all racers with honesty and pride while maintaining customer satisfaction. We carry a full stock of Kart Republic and Tony Kart chassis, as well as IAMI and Vortex Rock engines. We've also got a host of other parts available and in stock, such as products from Rev Performance Materials, Jecco Racing Seats, and more. We have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. And on top of that, if your order exceeds $200, shipping is on us. Check out all we have to offer today by visiting us online at kartstore-usa.com. As the Western importer of the Praga and Formula K chassis brands, Leading Edge Motorsports is a high-performance kart shop and race team with a simple mission: teach others the joy of high-performance driving, supply our customers with the highest quality products and services, most of all, win races. With our remarkable racing inventory, expert services, and top-ranked national-level team to back it up, we'll help to get your new kart racing package up and running fast. From arrive and drive service to kart preparation and driver coaching to the parts you need to get you back on the racetrack, Leading Edge Motorsports is the industry answer.
Hannah Greenemeyer is going to score the final win of the U.S. Pro Kart Series. Hayden Jones is a national race winner. Nate Cicero wins.
Four-time champion Ryan Norberg winning Super Nationals 24.
Winner, winner, winner.
Are you ready to join one of North America's winningest driver development programs? Rollison Performance Group offers fully customizable packages that are meant to take your game to the next level. For more information, head to rollisonperformancegroup.com.
Welcome back here to your Texas Sprint Racing Series. We're looking now at our K100 Masterclass, sponsored by Kart Racing Solutions. Our front row, the two Lando Norris karts of number 2 Martin Stone and number 1 Miguel Meyer. They're looking down, green flag into turn 1. We're going to see Meyer down the outside, getting a little bit pushed wide there, dropping back now to what looks to be the 3rd or 4th position. A little bit of bobbles here in the mid-pack. We're seeing a good start here from, looks to be Meyer. Some big pile up there in turn 3 here. Some back markers just getting a little bit bobbled up. We're going to see here now as we go into turn 6 for the first time, Caleb.
Yeah, that P number 2 is actually Robbie Mott, who is now cutting his way through the field, starting in the 2nd row, finds himself up into P2, breaking up the two Lando Norris karts of both Stone and Meyer. Stone running out in front, Meyer in P3 as they make their way down to the line. Let's see, Mott had the one yesterday in heat race number 1. Let's see if he can try to do it again here in number 2 as Stone continues to lead the way. We do have an update now on the ticker. If you look on the top right-hand side, you can see the time, and you can see exactly how much time is left on the board. Again, 8 minutes in total, plus 2 laps when they cross the line. So right now, we are about a minute in roughly, so we got 6 more to go. Here comes, that is going to be Mott on the inside of Stone heading into turn number 6. So that is now going to be Robbie Mott out in front. Stone running in P2, and Miguel Meyer in that third position. But Stone currently all over the back bumper of Mott as they make their way through. That's a beautiful line of karts coming down to the line. One more lap in the books as we are now 6 minutes and 39 seconds in.
Yes, here we see Robbie Mott giving some hand signals on his helmet, telling the number 2 kart of Martin Stone, hey, give me a draft here. But we see Stone and Meyer, these two teammates, they're going to want to work together to get past that number 205 of Robbie Mott. We go through the chicane now. A little bit of a bobble there from Stone. That's not going to help him on the exit. We're going to see Meyer now down the inside into turn 6. Is he going to make it happen? He is going to make it happen. Then we see Miller around the outside, not going to make it stick now into the chicane. Your leader, Robbie Mott, able to pull a little bit of a gap here as now we head down into turn 1. We're going to see Miller down the inside is going to make it happen going into turn 1. Miller now in your P3 spot.
Yeah, that's Stephen Miller, who's up into the third in that golf livery, the blue and orange kart. He is running right behind Miguel Meyer, who is up into second. Stone, who we typically seen as a big front runner, is currently running in that fourth position. Meanwhile, as this battling for second has panned out, that has allowed your leader of Robbie Mott to pull away by about 4 or 5 kart lengths over the rest of the field, as now Stephen Miller, who was up in that front pack yesterday, was trailing off in that third and fourth position, is now up into third and is trying to lead that second pack. Miguel Meyer up on the wheel. You can see his head tucking down, trying to see if he can't make himself as aerodynamic as possible. Coming through turn 1 and now setting up for turn 2. Here comes Miller on the inside. Take that spot away. So Miller up into P number 2. Miguel Meyer in third. Stone in fourth. And that fifth placeman trailing off into the distance is going to be Kyle Walter. So he is in the mix as now they're going to go side by side. Here comes Walter trying to roll the outside line. That is going to be Stone on the inside. And from sixth place, getting around Walter is going to be Morgan LeBron, who actually went purple last lap. So there are multiple drivers up in this field and may be able to make a mark into the top podium position, as now Mott may be under attack here shortly from Andy Miller, who is running in P number 2.
Andy Miller able to close that big gap into Robbie Mott through that last lap. Now going to be looking around and seeing if he can't make a pass. We still have Meyer, Stone. LeBaron is your purple driver, 38.490, back in your 5th place position. We saw him down the inside there into turn 6 that last lap, making a huge lunge here, able to make it stick on the inside of Walther. We're going to see them now maybe get into a battle. Focusing in here, Andy Miller, that blue and orange Gulf livery kart. Really interesting to see. Fun little livery here. Slowly catching up to that rear end of Robbie Mott. They come across the line here. Currently 5/10, now 4/10, catching up 1/10 that lap. Andy Miller going purple, 38.396. My bad. Now catching up to that rear end Robbie Mott. They still have now 3 minutes 50 seconds to go, plus 2 laps. So these drivers do have a while to go. Seems like Meyer, Stone, and LeBaron have fallen off that rear end of Mott and Miller now. We're going to have to see as maybe Miller and Mott start battling, that Meyer, Stone, LeBaron crew can catch up to the rear end of your front 2 drivers, Caleb.
Yeah, Andy Miller doing a fantastic job, but found something in the kart overnight. Maybe a couple of adjustments, figured out how to run this track. He is now trailing within about a half a kart length now of your leader of Robbie Mott. So let's see. Robbie Mott is out in front. Andy Miller running in P2. So let's see if Miller is able to make a move. He now closes up onto the back bumper of Mott. Goes a little bit lower at the exit of 3 through the chicane. That is very much single file. We have seen a couple guys go 2 by 2. Loses a little bit of time as he's down by now about 4 or 5 kart lengths. But again, we get to turn 6, followed by 7 and 8. Chicane just off the exit of turn 6. Really bunches him back up. And he's going to have to get a run here off of turn at number 7 and get into the toe. I don't think he's going to make a move into turn 1. He's just slowly still chipping away at the deficit that he has to your leader of Robbie Mott. Down into turn 1, not close enough to make a move, but he is closer. Again, every single lap, just a tenth or 2 chipping away is all you need to take that deficit down. Like you said, we're now 2 minutes and just under 40 seconds left to go, plus 2 laps. So roughly about 4 minutes in total of racing here still yet to go as the top 2 continue to go side by side, although Miller took a little bit too much curb. That's going to cost him going into turn number 6.
Exactly. That chicane here, that turn 4 and 5 complex, we see is that seems to be a very rough corner for some of these drivers. All you have to do is take that line just a little bit wrong, and it can harm you down that full straightaway, maybe up to 2, even 3/10. We look a little bit farther back now. Meyer and Stone working together, those 2 Lando Norris karts, trying to pull away from your number 215, Morgan LeBaron. He has set purple lap on lap 7, so he is your fastest kart on the track right now, 288, focusing in Andy Miller. Andy Miller closing up that rear bumper of Robbie Mott. We go through the chicane here. Is he going to get a good run? Looks like he is, ducking down that big straightaway. Is he going to get that aerodynamic advantage into turn 6? He is. Closing up to the rear end of Robbie Mott now, right on the rear bumper, going through 7 and 8 complex down the front straightaway. 1 minute, 37 seconds to go here on the clock. We could get 2 more laps in before we get that 2 to go. Andy Miller needs to start thinking about making a move here on your leader, Robbie Mott. They both set their fastest time in the race last lap by, not fast enough to beat Morgan LeBaron, though. Heading now into turn 3, not yet close enough to make a move. Maybe Miller is just taking the precautionary measure here and just sitting behind Mott. Ooh, a little bit in the grass here for Miller. Miller puts his hand up in the air. He knows that he's made a big mistake. Falls off the rear end of Robbie Mott here. Now we might see Miller, Meyer, and Stone getting into a battle. LeBaron is closed up to the rear end of Meyer and Stone. We're going to see maybe a far kart battle here for your 2nd to 5th position, Caleb.
Yeah, this went for what was going to be a straightforward battle for the lead, and just a little mistake on that chicane from Miller is all that it took to almost bunch him back up. Now, if you're either Meyer running in P3, if you're Stone in P4, or LeBaron in P5, now's the time to settle back down. Right in front of you is a free meal. That he messed up the corner just
down
one lap
inside.
before. And like I said, that's what they didn't need to do. They had the opportunity to catch back up. So Stone now moves up 1 position. LeBaron moves up 1 position. So now what was a possible 4-car battle for 2nd has actually saved Miller. And now it is going to be a 3-car battle for 3rd. Coming across the line, 15 seconds left. They're going to get 1 more time by, I do believe, before we get to 2 to go. So now it has gone with possible 4 car to a 3-car battle for lead, being led by Stone in the 3rd place, LeBaron in 4th, and Meyer in P number 5.
Robbie Mott almost a guaranteed win here, unless he has a mechanical failure, which is unlikely. Andy Miller, your 2nd place position. Like you were saying, that bit of a battle they had there, Stone and LeBaron going out down the inside of Meyer into turn 6, working together with each other. That is going to allow Miller to be able to pull away after that mistake he made through the chicane. We're now going to see as Stone pulls a bit of a gap back to LeBaron and Meyer. LeBaron and Meyer now going to start battling for that 4th and 5th position. 2 laps to go across the line. Martin Stone goes purple last time by. We're going to see Andy Miller, though, setting his fastest time of the race. Still keeping it what looks to be 6/10 out in front of your number 2, Martin Stone, sitting in 3rd. He's just running a consistent race here. Looks like we had LeBaron down. Meyer, making it happen. Then we got back to Miller again, just shaking his head down the straightaway. He knows he had a little bit of a mishap here. Looks like Mott maybe had a little bit of a mistake. Andy Miller starting to close up that gap. 1 lap to go now as we come across the line, looking down. I don't know if he's going to make it stick here, Caleb.
Yeah, he's got 1 lap now. 2 to go as shown last time as they make their way into turn 1. Miller has really closed the gap back up to Mott. Continues to do so. He continues to pull him back in, making their way now out of turn 2. Let's see how it's going to pan out as they make their way now into turn number 3. Miller is going to need to get a good run, and he does. He's going to have to hold it through the chicane. It hasn't been his strongest point so far. Maybe loses a little bit of time, not close enough to make a move in 6. But if he's able to get a good run out of turn 6, might be able to do a side-by-side through the chicane, but he's got to be perfect. He gets a little bit of a better run than Mott. Mott still able to hold on to it through 7 and 8. Out of 8 for the final time, and he is not going to have enough. Miller is going to have to settle for 2nd. Robbie Mott is going to take 2 heat wins back-to-back in 1 and 2. That's going to put him on pole position for the future. Miller comes across in P number 2. Stone finishing in 3rd. LeBaron in P number 4. And Miguel Meyer rounding out your top 5. We're going to see another commercial break. When we come back, we got our kiddos. The Kid Karts are taking the track.
Odenthal Racing Products, your #1 producer in engine mounts since 1992, along with our leading-edge designs and product development, such as the Odenthal Racing Products Easy GP camera mount, which comes in 4 different styles and can be used on any karting platform. To see our products online, go to odenthalracing.com.
I'm Billy Vincent, owner of MPG Motorsports. What we do at MPG is we try to keep it a nice, fun family atmosphere. Try to combine sort of the bigger things and of the bigger teams and the professionalism down with sort of some of the fun, sort of family-oriented atmosphere. We try to not only develop drivers, but also the parents and the families for just in knowledge in general in motorsports. It all starts in karting. What we try to do is try to help the drivers, the moms, the dads understand the sport of motorsports in general, not just karting, but what it takes to get all the way up through. Whether you end up wanting to be a driver or a mechanic or an engineer, you know, we can help you with that, and that's what we're here for. If you're interested in joining us at MPG, our home base is at Whiteland Raceway Park in Indianapolis, and you can contact us at info@willpowerkart.com. And one of our great people will reach out to you, and we'll try to put the best program together.
How you doing? My name is Mike Doty from Mike Doty Racing from Orange County, New York. We're about an hour north of New York City. We're a full-service kart shop that we supply IAME, Rotax, and all rock engines. We sell OTK parts and all the tires for all the different series. We support USBKS, SCUSA, Rotax, which is the Stars and Stripes, and the Rock Winter Tour. What we do is we try to get the drivers better by data, driver coaching, and setup. We have a lot of good drivers that come through our program. We have a lot of experience. I've been doing it for almost 35 years, and we just try to translate that to all our customers.
For more info about Mike Doty Racing, you can contact us at mikedotyracing@gmail.com or call us at 845-551-0572.
And welcome back here. About to get underway with our Kid Kart, sponsored by Helix Electric. They're about to get underway as they make their way into turn 6. Now, typically what they do for the Kid Karts, they give them, get them on track, they get them lined up, they come to a stop, they give them one last talk saying, hey, you guys are out here for fun, you guys are out here to learn, which they are. And again, this is going to be Theodore Mitchell starting in P number 1. Deutsch Westbrook is starting P number 2. They're going to lead the field as they make their way around the chicane of 6 and 7. Jace Jennings is going to start in P number 3 with Kimo Ahmad starting in P number 4. Marlicio Flores is going to round out your top 5. Making the way down the line. Let's see if the green flag comes out. It does. They're green into turn number 1. Let's see how this is going to pan out. It's going to be Mitchell on the inside with Westbrook on the outside. Westbrook's going to have to settle in for second. And it looks like they're all going to get fanned out.
An incident here.
One way up. Almost came out of the seat as it came back down. Hopefully they are okay. We're going to give updates to you guys as they come. But now we got another one slowing out in front. There's the 2 leaders going by. That is Mitchell and Westbrook as they make their way through. And there's the rest of the field. Oh, we got another one turned around.
Another
Looks like
turned around. 2 drivers, 3 drivers caught up in that bobble. Looks to be the 82 and the 62. So that is what looks to be Brennan Barsh and maybe Caden Modello. Another driver spun around turn 6. Those were the leaders. Mitchell and Westbrook spun around now in turn 6. That's going to be a very detrimental thing here now looking into our final race here, as their points are now going to be all sorts of screwed up coming down to complete 1 lap to go. Your new leader is going to be, as they come across the line, Brody Stoffel with Victor Gus Wonderl is going to be your front 2. Now they have a big gap back to the number 12 of Marcelo Flores and number 25 of Beckham Lee. They are going to be your 3rd and 4th place drivers. Dutch Westbrook has fallen back to 5th here on that first lap. Andrew Anastasio comes across the line 6th. Theodore Mitchell is now 7th. Jace Jennings 8th. We're looking now the leaders, Brody Stoffel and Victor Gus Wonderl, coming down into turn 6. 2 Burrell Art Kid Karts. These little kids, 5 to 7 years old, still learning their racecraft here. So that little incident there, nothing but a learning incident. It's bound to happen here with these little kiddos here, and something they're going to have to get used to as they progress through the ages here. Stoffel, still your leader, went purple last time by, And we are going to watch here as they come across the line now here, Caleb.
Yeah, it looks like they're side by side. If I'm not mistaken, that was a pass for the lead, as that was
Sticking it around the
Wonderball who
outside.
makes it a pass into turn number 1, so that's going to put Stoffel back into P2. And as you were saying, the instances, the reason why they have such low horsepower is because these kiddos are so young. Like I say, it's learning when to keep it safe. That's why typically the bodywork sticks out a little bit farther than what you see in the adult classes in order to make sure that the wheels are entirely exposed. This is all about learning, and obviously when you learn from mistakes. So we make it possible for these kiddos to be able to learn and also do it safely. As now we're watching a
Dutch
battle
Westbrook,
for third. That is now
your former
Westbrook.
leader,
Yeah.
down the inside of Marcelo Flores into turn 6. Isn't going to make it happen, decides against it now. Looks like Flores is going to be able to hold it now through turn 6. Westbrook went fastest last time by, so your former leader still has speed. He's now just caught at the back of this 4-cart train here for first. We're going to see what looks to be Stoffel looking down the inside. We also have Westbrook looking down the inside of Flores down into turn 1. Oh, is that an incident we saw there? That was. So we have Westbrook and Flores around on the entry to turn 1. Very, very unfortunate here for Westbrook, your former leader. Stoffel, Gus Wonderl, still your first and second drivers, Caleb.
Yeah, so incidents happening all over the track as everyone is trying to learn their ropes. And now we watch, again, this is the battle for the lead. The two Burrell Arts out in front of both Stoffel and Wonderl as they make their way into turn number 6. Let's see how this one's going to pan out. They're going to go on the brakes a little bit late, and it looks like there's going to be no pass. Wonderl is not able to catch back up to Stoffel. I mean, he's doing so just a little bit at a time as leaders are now going by. There's your third placeman. That is Westbrook, who, like you said, was that's not Westbrook. That's going to be Florence running in P number 4.
Beckham Lee,
actually call that Beckham Lee
card.
after all the incidents that happened. There, your two leaders going down into turn 1. And it looks like there's some other incidents happening and some more passes that are happening
down into turn 1. That looks to be on that number 25 cart. So that's
Lee going back.
Yeah. So we have Anastasio and Mitchell going down the inside of Beckham Lee. Beckham Lee drops down to 5th. We still have Stoffel and Gus Wonderl out in front. They are running. Who is that we're looking at? That is one of your former leaders as well. That looks like Mitchell is now making up positions. Westbrook is able to get back on the track after those 2 incidents he was involved in. That number 33 car making his way up. We see Mitchell now. Is he going to look to the inside on that number 8 card of Andrew Anastasio down into turn 6? He's not going to. He's going to decide better of it. Brody Stoffel and Gus Wonderl have a massive 7-second gap here to Andrew Anastasio and Mitchell here as we're looking down. A little bit of a bobble there from Mitchell is going to harm him down the straightaway. Is he going to look out? We see a little bit of a bump there between these two drivers working together here. These kiddos figuring out what bump drafting is and figuring out how working together with these smaller go-karts here, Caleb.
Yeah, now they continue to watch Mitchell trying to claw his way back up through the field. He is continuing to, I don't want to say stay content, but he is running relatively safe there in the 4th position, but he would love to maybe get around Andrew Anastasio, who is in the 3rd position. Another little bump as they make their way to turn 6. Mitchell looking on the inside, and it looks like it's going to be a clean pass. Yep, he's going to move up one more position, so that's now Mitchell up back into P number 3, so he is now only down 2 spots from where he started, and that was going to put Anastasio back 1 position, still 2 up from where he started in the 6th position. And so, yeah, pretty straightforward race. We're going to there's a pass for the lead.
Not going to make it stick. That's Wonderl looking down the inside of Stoffel. Not going to make it happen. We see Mitchell come across the line 3rd now. Anastasio dropping to 4th. We have a pass there. What is that? The number 12 cart. That is Marcel Flores down the inside of Beckham Lee. Going to make it happen here. Dutch Westbrook also catching up to the rear end of that field. He goes purple last time by with a 51.270. He's going to start thinking about making a comeback drive here for maybe he can get up to that 4th place position, catch up to Anastasio, make it up and finish right behind that number 20 of Theodore Mitchell. Speaking that, Westbrook and Mitchell was your front row starting this race here today. Big incidents here on the start and in the middle of the race. So it is going to be is he looking down the inside? We see Westbrook down the inside of that number 12 car. Marcel Flores into turn 6, making it stick. Very clean pass here from Westbrook. Congratulations to him passing Marcelo Flores. He's going to pull a little bit of a gap here going into our turn 7-8 complex. Looks like that is a clean run there from Westbrook. Stoffel, Wonderl, still your leaders. 1-2, we're looking at them now. Stoffel is now your leader, catching up to what looks to be maybe a lap traffic cart. we're going to see is that might cause a little bit of a bobble here from Stoffel that might allow Wonderl to catch up. Theodore Mitchell, 1.5 seconds back, might be catching up. Oh, we see that number 20 cart. Let's see what that is. Oh, that's Theodore Mitchell. Theodore Mitchell goes for a pass for second on Gus Wonderl, able to make it up down on that inside of that lap cart. We see Mitchell making an amazing comeback drive here. 50 seconds to go before 2 laps, so they're going to have 3 laps to go here. And we now see Mitchell catching back up, is looking for a pass. We see Stoffel looking over his shoulder. He knows Mitchell is there. We're going to see a very clean and yet aggressive battle here in our little kid kart class.
Yeah, Mitchell trying to see if he can't claw his way back up to the lead. Running out in front is still Stoffel. Let's see how long until Stoffel may have an attempt to be passed on. We know that Mitchell is a little bit quicker, and again with this kid kart classes, typically they're not as tight of a field as you see in your 206 and KA, and even your micro and your minis, because there's such a gap not only in the amount of experience, but also these karts are a little bit, it's not just the kids who are learning how to race, it's also the mechanics and the fathers who are learning how to do a setup. As there's now a pass on the inside, he decides to think of it, and he backs off, so it's Stoffel out in front. But as I was saying, usually when it comes to kid karts, it's usually a father, son, or maybe a mother, a son, or uncle and a nephew or niece or whatever it may be, daughter. And these kiddos are just trying to learn the way. So it's not only the kid learning how to race, but it's also the parents and the mechanics learning how to work on these karts as well. So it's a big learning curve all the way around. That's what makes it fun. It's all about that old school family weekend, as we now have, I believe that is now 2 laps to go at the line. And we still continue to watch Mitchell, seeing if he can't make a move on Stoffel heading into turn 2. Stays on the back bumper. He had a run going into 6 last time. Let's see if he can make it happen again. Makes his way out of turn 2. Going into turn number 3. The chicane complex is coming up. Now looks to the inside. Thinks better of it and backs off. Through turns 4 and 5. And here's that straightaway run down to turn 6. Slowly coming up on the toe is Mitchell. He's not going to have enough this time unless he tries to late break it going into turn 6. He comes up to the, closes up onto the back bumper, gives a little bit of a push, not able to get it done, but he is there. So now they're going to head into turns 7 and 8 chicane complex. Out of turn number 8, coming down to the line yet again. The white flag is going to be this time by. Oh, they both go wide. They both go off track.
Spin. That is Stoffel spinning out. That is your former leader now spun around. Seems like he will be out of this race. We have Mitchell coming to white flag to go. He is going to be your new leader, Andrew Anastasio, number 2. Dutch Westbrook up to that 3rd place position, going purple last time by. And I believe we're going to see a 3-car battle here for the lead here, Caleb, in our kid kart class.
Yeah, I think it's a possibility. And now Anastasio in the 2nd position is also, like you said, under attack from Westbrook, who went purple as they make their way now. We got 3 karts coming out of the chicane, coming down to turn number 6. They're all in a line. Let's see if anyone tries to take the inside line. And here comes Westbrook on the inside for 2nd, backs it off. So he's not going to have enough. And I think that may have sealed the deal for Mitchell as they make their way out of 6, heading into the chicane for the final time. Checkered flag is going to be out. Who's it going to be? Coming out of turn number 7, they're all spaced out. No one's got to run down to the line, so it's going to be Mitchell taking the win here this afternoon. So Theodore Mitchell is going to take the win. 2nd place for a side-by-side finish. That is going to go to Anastasio. Dutch Westbrook is going to come across P number 3. That's going to be Victor Gus Winderall is going to come across to P number 4. And Marcelo Florence rounds out your top 5. We're going to go to another commercial break. And when we come back, we have your KA 100 Junior still yet to come.
How you doing? My name is Mike Doty from Mike Doty Racing from Orange County, New York. We're about an hour north of New York City. We're a full-service kart shop that we supply IAME, Rotax, and all rock engines. We sell OTK parts and all the tires for all the different series. We support USBKS, SCUSA, Rotax, which is the Stars and Stripes, and the Rock Winter Tour. What we do is we try to get the drivers better by data, driver coaching, and setup. We have a lot of good drivers that come through our program. We have a lot of experience. I've been doing it for almost 35 years, and we just try to translate that to all our customers.
For more info about Mike Doty Racing, you can contact us at MikeDotyRacing@gmail.com or call us at 845-551-0572.
Welcome back to Kart Chaser. We are now looking at our K100 Junior, sponsored by 4T Concrete Pumping. Our front row, Oscar Iliff and Landon Skinner. Second row, Cooper Shipman, Diego Gaut. Row 3, Ernesto Rivera and Davis Cunningham. We're looking down the front straight now. Those two go-karts looking down. We got a hand up in the air telling other drivers to slow it down a little bit. Looking now, are we going to see a green flag? We are. We're going to see Iliff down that inside. We're going to see a whole bunch of shunting. Oh, we got a multiple drivers off in that mid to backpack here. Multiple drivers off in turn 1. Very unfortunate for them. We're going to have to see if they're able to make up positions here through this race and into the final. Oscar Iliff, still your leader, Caleb.
Yeah, definitely not clean as we've seen yesterday. Everyone's getting a little antsy due to the fact that the feature is coming up here later this afternoon as we watch the top two going out in front. Those are the two IROCs leading the way. And your third placeman, I believe that is going to be Rivera running in P number 3, although I could be wrong on that one. That does look like a Burrell. I'll give you guys an exact update when they come across the line. Top 3 making the way through. That is going to be Iliff leading with Shipman running in P number 2. Sorry, that is actually Skinner in P3 and Rivera in P4.
Going to block. Shipman goes to block into turn 2. He had a little bit of a hiccup there, Landon. Skinner was going to try and force his way by. Not going to make it happen, though. We have a 5-kart lead pack here for the lead. That's Iliff, Shipman, Skinner, Rivera, and Justin Music following up the caboose of that. We see Iliff pull a little bit away out through the chicane, but Shipman and Skinner are not going to back off. Rivera and Music also going to close up that gap under braking. Iliff under a whole lot of pressure now from Shipman and the likes.
Yeah, as we watch the lead pack, like you said, top 5 in total making the way across the line as they come down into turn number 1. Iliff and Shipman, the two teammates out in front. Skinner, who I don't think has a teammate in that top 5, running in third as they make their way down into turn number 3. Skinner goes a little wide there mid-corner, tries for a possible crossover move on to Shipman, not able to get it done. And then right behind him, Rivera also saw an opportunity to possibly follow through. So top 5 are going to go nose to tail. Let's see if there's any takers on the inside. Here comes Skinner, possibly thought about making a move, decides to back it off, and the entire field bunches up one more time. So Oscar Iliff, he's got to go on the defensive here as he is leading a 4-kart battle from behind as they make their way across the line yet again. We're 6 minutes in the books, 6 minutes to go, 2 minutes in the books. There is Shipman all over the back bumper of Iliff, giving a little bit of a push, and the rest of the field continues to close back up from behind. So every time they get a little bit of leeway, the rest of the field is right there to pull back up to him. That is led by Skinner. Again, the two out in front, Iliff and Shipman, teammates. And then you have Skinner in third. Running in the 4th placement is Rivera, followed by Justin Music in the 5th position. Make the way down into turn number 6. I think Skinner's trying to see if he can't break up the two out in front. He does not want teammates out in the lead because he knows if they get together, they may be able to push away if there's some battling that happens with him on back as they make their way across the line. 5 minutes and under 30 seconds in the books.
Very interesting thing to see here. We look a little bit farther back down the field. Davis Cunningham, a driver that started in the front, goes purple on that last lap. We see a move here for third. That's Rivera down the inside of Skinner. Those green gloves shining out in the Texas sun. Going to now make his way into the 3rd position. Iliff and Shipman going through your chicane. We see Rivera get a little bit iffy there, exiting our chicane. Is Skinner going to look down the inside? He is not into turn 6. We see Iliff and Shipman working together here. So these drivers, the K100 field, they are still getting practice in before they move up the rank into the competitive K100 senior class. But these drivers, I'd like to say some of them might be a little bit better than some drivers in the K100 senior category. These drivers are very good, the likes of Shipman, Iliff, Rivera, Skinner, Music. Drivers very aggressive, very, very clean here, though. Shipman, Iliff, Rivera, your top 3.
And as I was saying before, this is exactly what Skinner did not want to happen, although Rivera has been able to close back up. What I mean by that is he doesn't want two teammates out in front. If there's another passing that was happening, like you see from third on back, there was a good gap there between the two teammates of Iliff and Shipman out in front. They were able to almost pull away, but somehow they've all been able to close up back up. So again, Shipman running out in front now with Iliff in P number 2 as they make their way into turn number 1. And then your new third placeman, that is going to be Rivera running in P3, and that is going to be Skinner in P4. Still off in the distance. Oh, here down to the inside. Here comes Rivera, and right behind him, Skinner's going to follow. Iliff now follows back 2. Count that, 2 positions, almost made it 3. Music thought about trying to make a move. So now Iliff has fallen back away from his teammate. Shipman still leading. Now Rivera is going to try to lead that pack to close back up, although they're going to have to be careful. Out in front of Shipman, he has got a little bit of a break, not quite out of the towing distance, but all he needs is 1 or 2 more passes to be able to pull away from the field, although Rivera up on the wheel with Skinner behind him. They are definitely going to be trying to close up as they make their way through turn number 1.
This K100 class, very competitive. 3 minutes, 25 seconds on the clock. So they're going to get, with a 37-second lap, they still have many laps to go. We see down the inside, that might be Iliff looking into the chicane, not going to make it stick. That's going to be a little bit of a gap. Rivera is going to be able to pull on Skinner, Iliff, and Music down, now going into turn 6. You see Shipman out in front. He does have a, oh, we see a little bit of a bobble there as we see Iliff down the inside of Skinner into turn 7. Turn 8 going to try to hold the outside, not going to make it happen. Oh, now we see Iliff blocking into turn 1. We still have 2 minutes to go here. These drivers getting very aggressive. We see down the inside. We're going to see Skinner look down, not going to make it happen. Music, meanwhile, oh, side by side into turn 3 again. Skinner and Iliff putting a show on here for us. We're going to see Music just sitting behind Skinner and Iliff, just waiting for a mistake to get made, and a move down the inside. This is a very aggressive battle here between Skinner and Iliff. Seems like it might be getting personal. So we have Iliff defending hard from Skinner. Music just waiting along while we have our leader Shipman and then our second place Rivera pulling away from this 3-cart train, Caleb.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about, what you don't want to see if you're running in that 4th or 5th position. You don't want to see the 2 out in front of you start battling out. If you're Justin Music in the 5th position, all you can do is sit and wait. You can try to get your nose in on the action. If you do that, you're going to break that second pack up from leaders even more. Meanwhile, the top 2 have pulled away. They have got a good gap right now, probably about, I want to say about a half a second to a second. Look at the timesheet. They have a 1.5 second gap, and now here's another pass for the lead on the inside.
That was a move for third.
Yeah, that was Skinner able to get around Iliff, and now Music is trying to get on the action as well.
Big
but as I'm saying, the top 2 pulling away of Shipman and Rivera. They got all sorts of gap that they need. There's a view of your leader out in front of Shipman. Last time by, Rivera, I believe, did go just a hint bit quicker. Actually, it was about the same time. So all the while that the top 2 are going away, we're watching the battle for third. If you're third on back, your chances for a win are out the window. So all they're trying to do is fight for that last podium spot right now, as Skinner is now up into P3, Iliff in the 4th position, Music right now just sitting and waiting in 5th, coming down into turn 6. Iliff does not make a move. Maybe they're going to settle back down, but we got 1 minute and 10 seconds left, so roughly about 5 laps to go, Tristan. I'm not quite sure they're going to be able to pull that off to catch back up.
I also don't think they're going to be able to pull it off. Skinner does a little tap on his helmet telling that 807 of Oscar Iliff to push him. I don't really know what his plan is because it's going to be hard for them to pull that 2.1 second gap to the rear end of your 802 Ernest Rivera as we come into turn 3. Those 3 carts, Skinner, Iliff, and Music, really bunched up here going through our chicane, heading down now into turn 6. We see a few looks over the shoulder. And we're going to see Music down the inside of Iliff. Very clean pass so far, going to make it happen. Iliff not going to be able to make a crossover move into our turn 7A complex. So that is going to be now Music, your 4th place position. And we see here Rivera starting to catch up to the rear end of Shipman. We might have a battle here for the lead. We still have 18 seconds here to go, so when they come across the line next time, they'll be seeing 2 laps to go. So we are seeing Skinner, Music, Iliff, your 3-cart battle here for 3rd through 5th, but we need to be focusing on Shipman and Rivera. Rivera, very quick here, closing up on Shipman. Those green gloves, you can see just how smooth he is on the steering wheel, trying his hardest to catch up to Shipman. Is it going to happen? We have the double sticks in the air here. 2 to go, Caleb.
Yeah, Rivera now is within the toe of your leader of Cooper Shipman as they make their way across the line, heading into turn number 1. Not close enough to make a move here. But again, turns 1, 2, and 6 is when the field bunches up the most. So now they go into turn 2. A little bit of time was taken away there from the gap that is between Rivera and your leader of Shipman. Through the turns number 4 and 5 chicane, now coming up into turn 6. Like you said, this time by is going to be the white flag. Both are up on the wheel, trying to be as aerodynamic as possible. Through turn 6, again, they bunch up yet again. That accordion effect coming into play. Now he is down to about a cart length. He's got to be perfect through 7 and 8 chicane. Both get the inside wheel up in the air a little bit. They're gripped up, coming down to the line. Again, Rivera not close enough, but he's closer than he was before. Into turn number 1. If he's going to make a move here, this is the final lap. It's going to have to be soon. Making the way through turn numbers 2, now heading up into 3. And now, Tristan, they're going to make the way. This is going to be the best opportunity to pass, heading into turn number 6.
Ernesto Rivera goes purple last time by, catching up to the rear end of Cooper Shipman. Is he going to be close enough here into turn 6 to make a dive bomb attempt? He's going to look for it, not going to make it stick. Gets into the rear end there of Cooper Shipman. Very rough battle. Shipman blocks into turn 7, 8. And it looks like it is going to be Shipman, your leader, coming to the checkered flag. Not checkered flag. Oh, it is the checkered flag. I see the flag man just getting a little bobbled up there. So we have your winner, Cooper Shipman, in our K100 junior class. Ernesto Rivera. Landon Skinner is third. Oscar Iliff is fourth. And Justin Music rounding out your top 5 here in the K100 junior, sponsored by 4T Concrete Pumping. Don't go anywhere, though, because when we come back after this short commercial break, we're going to be looking at the 206 Cadet, sponsored by Ferris Mowing here shortly. So don't go anywhere and tune back into Kart Chaser.
If you're looking for top-grade equipment, look no further than Rev Performance Materials, engine mounts, sprockets, and arcade chains. Available online now at revperformancematerials.com and through a dealer near you. The highest quality material, built to the highest quality standards. Rev Performance Materials. USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parolin Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParolinUSA.com. Odenthal Racing Products, your #1 producer in engine mounts since 1992, along with our leading-edge designs and product development, such as the Odenthal Racing Products EasyGP camera mount, which comes in 4 different styles and can be used on any karting platform. To see our products online, go to odenthalracing.com.
I'm Billy Vincent, owner of MPG Motorsports. What we do at MPG is we try to keep it a nice, fun family atmosphere, try to combine sort of the bigger things and of the bigger teams and the professionalism down with sort of some of the fun, sort of family-oriented atmosphere. We try to not only develop drivers, but also the parents and the families for just in knowledge in general in motorsports. It all starts in karting. What we try to do is try to help the drivers, the moms, the dads understand the sport of motorsports in general, not just karting, but what it takes to get all the way up through. Whether you end up wanting to be a driver or a mechanic or an engineer, you know, we can help you with that, and that's what we're here for. If you're interested in joining us at MPG, our home base is at Whiteland Raceway Park in Indianapolis, and you can contact us at info@willpowerkart.com. And one of our great people will reach out to you, and we'll try to put the best program together.
Welcome back to Kart Chaser at the Texas Sprint Racing Series. We're now looking at our 206 Cadet, sponsored by Ferris Motors. Your front row is going to be the number 3 of Emmett Eddles, and then your outside is going to be the number 245 of Josie Chambers. Second row, Paxton Dyson, Aston Wyatt, then our third row, Jackson Young, and Tyrone Kemper Jr. They're going through our turn 7-8 complex now, looking down the front straightaway for a start here, Caleb.
Yeah, the front row, you can see some hand signals. They're trying to get each other woed back down. Again, that's your front row of Emmett Eddles and Josie Chambers. Again, Eddles doing double duty here with the micro and the minis along with the 206 down into turn 1. Green flag is out. Let's see how that's going to happen. Eddles is going to come away with the lead.
And we have one off in the rear in turn 1.
Yeah, and second placeman on the start of Chambers was also able to not lose a whole lot of positions. He's going to settle into Pete, number 2 for the moment. Rest of the field still falling from behind. Keep an eye on Paxton Dyson, Ashton Wyatt, Tyrone Kipper Jr. They were all big players, along with Derek Wargo, who's also trying to get himself in the mix. They're side by side in the lead. Thought about it for the moment. That's still going to be Eddles out in front. Chambers settles into P number 2.
No, that's going to be Eddles in second place looking for a pass in on Josie Chambers. Not going to make it happen now. That 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pack of drivers are going to maybe be catching up to the rear end of what looks like Josie Chambers and Emmett Eddles, your leaders. Paxton Dyson, Jackson Young, Aston Wyatt rounds out your top 5. We had a switch there for third and fourth. That looks like that is Paxton Dyson Paxton Dyson falling under Jackson Young's little ploy there. We see Josie Chambers still out in front. Now these 206 classes, they need to work together like we've been saying this whole weekend. So it's not great to see that Chambers and Eddles have fallen off of each other a little bit. If they're not drafting, that's going to allow Dyson and friends Young and Wyatt to be able to catch up, as now we see Dyson making a big lunge and catching up to the rear end here of Eddles.
Yeah, so the top 3 are pretty much nose to tail. Again, that is being led by Chambers with Eddles and Young right behind. As
down to the inside, we saw Eddles make a pass on Josie Chambers for the lead there.
Yeah, Eddles is up into the lead as they make the way. That was just off a camera view before it came back too. So Eddles is out in front with Chambers now into P2. And here's the rest of the field. Keep an eye with that red helmet and that Paralyn card of Ashton Wyatt running in the 4th position. He was a big competitor yesterday until I think he was battling out in the top 3 most race long. Wasn't able to get it done. Coming down now into turn number 6. Everyone is not going to try to make a move. They're going to stay nose to tail. So that is now your top 6 relatively bunched up comparatively so to the rest of the field. There's about a 5 or 6 car length break before we get from Paxton Dyson in the 6th position to Thomas Smith, who went purple last lap. So he is the fastest car in the field. Let's see if he's able to close back up. Down into turn 1. No passes. They're all going to stay relatively clean nose to tail. Into turn 2, another big passing opportunity. Everyone, again, staying in line. And again, that front group, while it is close together, there are subgroups within that group. So the top 2 of Eddles and Chambers are off in their own. There's about a 4 or 5 car length break before you get to Young and Wyatt, followed by Kemper Jr. in the 5th position as they make their way into turn number 6.
Exactly. So we had Eddles and Chambers. We had Young on the back end of that 3-car lead pack. Then we had a little bit of a break to Wyatt and Kemper Jr., but they have made up ground. So we have Eddles and Chambers out in front by themselves. Looks like they're going to be staying relatively in line. Then we look a little bit farther back. Eddles goes purple last time by. Never mind. That 6th place of Thomas Smith 209 kart is going to go purple last time by. So we're going to see as maybe Thomas Smith in your 6th place position catching up to the rear end of Tyrone Kemper Jr. is maybe going to start moving through this field here. All drivers separated by about a car length here as we go through the chicane. A little bit of a bobble there from Emmett Eddles going down the back straight here into turn 6. Josie Chambers not going to capitalize on that little bit of a hiccup there. So we are going to stay all in line here. Eddles, Chambers, Young, Wyatt, Tyrone Kemper Jr., and Smith is the pack you are looking at. As we come down the front straight, we also have another cart off in the distance. That looks like it could be Paxton Dyson. Not having a great start here. Right behind him, we have Davis Henry in 8th, making up 11 positions. Good for him. We have a yellow flag out in turn 3, so wonder what driver that is for. Looks all good. No problem for our leader, Eddles. Eddles, Chambers, and Young. Young has caught up to the back end of Chambers. Are we going to see a move here down into turn 6? We are not. Chambers just pushes along Eddles like we have seen for most of this race.
Yeah, top 3 continue to stay nose to tail. That rest of the field trying to see if they can't crack back into the top 3. We are now just over 4 minutes into it, roughly about 4 minutes and 4 seconds. So we're just over halfway as far as the time goes. Again, we still have +2 laps when they come across the line, and the time has expired. Top 3, not a whole lot has happened recently. It got a little exciting, or they got a little excited, I should say, at the start, and then they've kind of calmed back down. Although that second pack being led by Ashton White, I'm surprised, hasn't been able to close back up to the top 3 any sooner as they make their way through turns 4 and 5, coming down into 6. Let's see for second placement Chambers. He goes to the back bumper. He's trying to push him away, and all the while your third placement of Young is slowly losing sight of the leaders and going to a little island of his own. That may allow Wyatt and Kemper Jr. to close up even more so as they're into the screen, and that red helmet is Wyatt, Ashton Wyatt, running in 4th. And just off in the distance, Kemper Jr. is leading Thomas Smith and company, followed by Paxton Dyson, who has fallen down 4 positions, running in the 7th spot. As they make their way now into turn 2, it's going to be a 2-kart battle with Edels and Chambers leading the way.
Edels goes purple last time by 40.790, just a few thousandths of a second over your second place of Josie Chambers. Jackson Young, like you have said, has fallen off a little bit of your leaders. He is going to have to try to make up that position. We see Chambers pushing along here with Edels. Chambers knows they have to work together to get away from Young and friends, Young, Wyatt, Smith, and Tyrone Kemper Jr. They know that they're right behind them. These 206 races, very 206 racing, you almost need to bring in a strategy to these races because you know you can't pull away by yourself. So you have to find what is almost like a friend or a buddy, maybe even a teammate, so they can work together here. Edels still out in front. Chambers second. Jackson Young. Seems like that top 3 pack has pulled a decent gap back to your 4th place position, Aston Wyatt. Aston Wyatt is currently sitting right where he started in that 4th place position. Edels still your leader. Josie Chambers second. Jackson Young 3rd place.
We're just over 6 minutes now. There's about 2 minutes remaining in the top 3. And now I say top 3 because your third placeman of Wyatt for a moment looked like he was falling off the pace. Or sorry, Jackson Young looked like he was falling off the pace. But now he continues to slowly start to close back up. The top 2 haven't been racing each other. I'm almost wondering if Jackson Young, who just went purple last lap, if maybe they're set up the car to run later in the race. Again, the features are 16 minutes long plus 2 laps, so it's significantly longer than what we've ever been on track from before. So they're maybe trying to temper with their adjustments to see if they can't use this as a learning opportunity to figure out what's going to work best in the feature. Making the way down into turn 6, a little bit under a minute and 20 seconds is remaining. Top 2 is Edels and Chambers, still 1 and 2.
Jackson Young is a very fast go-kart as he went purple last time by. A thing I'm noticing, turn 3, Jackson Young is taking a little bit of a lower line on exit. Now in these 206s, you want to run as wide of a line as possible so you can carry momentum. Like we were saying before, these 206s are a momentum-based class. So Jackson Young deciding that he is wanting to run a lower line through turn 3 could harm him. We go through turn 3 again. Looks like he does the same thing, but this time it's beneficial for him as he catches up to the rear end of Josie Chambers, your second place kart. We come across right now into turn 6, 44 seconds on the clock. I believe they're going to go around this time to get one more lap before the 2 to go, as we have Edels still your leader, Chambers second, and that number 270 of Jackson Young. Jackson Young has been there the whole race. We're going to need to see as with 2 to go comes out, not yet, but the next time by, so they still have this lap to maintain their position. But will they start battling here? They have to remember it's still a heat race, so their points do matter. So it would not be beneficial for these drivers to end up in a silly little accident. So they are going to need to work together here. Edels still out in front. Edels very consistent this whole race. All of his times here very close, all within a thousandth of a second. They are all very fast. Jackson Young right on the rear bumper. A little bit of a bump there from Chambers under braking to the rear end of Edels. And we are going to see now they come through the turn 7-8 complex. Our flagman, 2 sticks up in the air for your leader, Emmett Edels, Josie Chambers. We see Edels running a little bit of a lower line, checking back, maybe throwing a hand signal up in the air. Yes, we see Edels blocking now into turn 1. Is he going to block into turn 2? He is not going to. This is going to allow Jackson Young to get a little bit closer up on the rear end of Chambers. The question is, are we going to see Young make a move on Chambers before Chambers is able to make a move on Edels?
Yeah, they make their way out of the turn 4 and 5 complex for the second to last time as they make their way now into turn number 6. Let's see if there's going to be any passes for the lead. They're all going to stay in line. And slowly but surely, Jackson Young is closing in on Chambers, and Chambers is starting to lose sight of your leader of Edels. This time across the line, there is a lapped car in the distant future, but I don't think it's going to be a factor. White flag is now out. There's the battle for second that we're probably going to watch to the end between Chambers and Young as they make their way through turns number 1. Heading up into turn 2, we know that Chambers is just a little bit off pace, as now here comes
Looking to the
Young on the
inside.
inside. Young takes the point away. He moves up to P2. Unfortunately, he is not close enough to make a move on your leader of Edels, but let's see if Chambers is going to have anything to say about that pass for second, making their way down into turn number 6. Chambers is going to try to possibly do a crossover move, doesn't have the momentum to get it done, so that means that Young is going to put on a fantastic drive and come all the way back up to second, unless there's a side-by-side photo finish. Coming down to the line, it's going to be Edels taking the win here this afternoon. Chambers finishing in P number 3 with Ashton Wyatt able to move his way up into the second position. So that was our 206 Cadet Heat race number 2, sponsored by Ferris Motors. We're going to sit to another commercial break, and if you haven't already, make sure you sign up for YouTube Premium under Kart Chaser. We're getting close to the feature time. When that happens, we're going to switch it over to our Premium only, and I have just been told that now it is exclusively only people who can leave comments are those who have a Premium subscription. So if you'd like to comment on all the races this afternoon, make sure you sign up for Premium before we get going here with our features. But up next is going to be our K100 Seniors. Stay tuned and don't go anywhere.
How you doing? My name is Mike Doty from Mike Doty Racing from Orange County, New York. We're about an hour north of New York City. We're a full-service kart shop that we supply IAME, Rotax, and all rock engines. We sell OTK parts and all the tires for all the different series. We support USBKS, SCUSA, Rotax, which is the Stars and Stripes, and the Rock Winter Tour. What we do is we try to get the drivers better by data, driver coaching, and setup. We have a lot of good drivers that come through our program. We have a lot of experience. I've been doing it for almost 35 years, and we just try to translate that to all our customers.
For more info about Mike Doty Racing, you can contact us at MikeDotyRacing@gmail.com or call us at 845-551-0572. USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parallel Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParallelinUSA.com.
Welcome back to Kart Chaser at the Texas Sprint Racing Series. Now we are looking at our B and C group for K100 Senior, sponsored by Exertech. We're looking at our front here: Nicholas Stouffer, Drew Chappell, Second row, Aiden Rudolph, J.D. Lamping. Third row, Payne Phillips and Braden Robertson. And then we got row 4, Jaded Fuller, Tyler Stevens. And we got Tyler Rowdy and Logan McDonough round out your top 10. They're coming down to the start now. As I look here, Stouffer, Rudolph, and Phillips, 3 big names in this top 5 here. We're going to see a big battle here. So this is the B and C group. Our next race is going to be the A and D group. That's how these heat races work. Then they're going to take the average of points, and that's how we're going to line up what looks to be probably about a 40-cart field here for our K100 Senior final event, Caleb.
Yeah, front row is going to be Stouffer starting next to Chappell. So that's going to be your front row. And again, like you were talking about, some other big names besides Phillips is Lamping, Robertson, and Tyler Stevens starting in the 9th position. So there's some big names all the way through, but that front 5 is definitely going to be stacked. So keep an eye on Stouffer, Chappell, Rudolph, and Lamping. Rudolph is on the inside of turn number 3. We've seen those guys typically go to P2 from the start. Let's see if Chappell's be able to roll the outside line as they make their way down to it. It's going to be Stouffer leading the way into turn number 1. How's that outside line going to pan out? It is actually going to work in the favor of Chappell as he's going to slip right in. Rudolph maintains that 3rd position, make their way through. Relatively clean start from what we've seen so far from today as they make their way through. A little bit of a hodgy-podgy. Oh, we got
Robertson
one off the track.
Robertson
and he's turned around.
Out.
So Robertson is off, so he is now going to be out of the mix for the lead of the pack. Top 2 of Stouffer and Chambers continue to go out. And Rudolph in 3rd almost appears to be struggling a little bit. I did actually run into him as I was walking in here earlier today. He had a rock in his eye, and he was struggling to get it out. So I'm wondering, I know this track is a little bit rough, and it bumps around a little bit. If that rock did scratch his eye, I'm sure that's not the most comfortable feeling in the world for him. But the fact that he's in 3rd right now, holding off the rest of the field, is quite impressive. But it's not the typical Aiden Rudolph we've seen so far.
Exactly. So our 2 front runners, Stouffer and Chappell, they seem to have a little bit of a gap over your 3rd place, which looks to be now Aiden Rudolph, followed by Payne Phillips. So they are going to be coming through here. It looks like Aiden Rudolph, for some reason, is having a issue on Race Monitor or on Race Hero where he's not showing up for us. So we're going to need to see here as he comes across. So we won't have his lap time, unfortunately. Stouffer goes purple that first time by. We'll see if he's able to reset it. He is not. Payne Phillips is going to go purple on your 2nd lap. So that is going to be what looks to be your 4th place driver. We still have Stouffer out in front, followed by Chappell. We need to see if Rudolph has anything to say about that, though, as he starts catching up to the rear end of Chappell.
Yeah, he's starting to close the pack back up, and like you said, with him, he's bringing the 4th placeman of Phillips with him. So those 2 together definitely could catch back up to the main pack, too. I mean, the top 4 are very experienced, but if those 2 settle it down and work together in the toe of each other, they could absolutely catch back up. We could see a 4-cart battle for the lead, which I would like to see personally. Again, Stouffer still out in front with Chappell in P2 coming down into turn number 1. We are about 2 minutes in, 6 to go as they make their way now out of the turn 1 into complex, heading into the little quick switchback, I like to call it, of turn number 3. And again, slowly but surely, that top 4 is starting to close back up. And because of the fact that both Rudolph and Phillips are closing back up, along with them, Lamping and Stevens, Tyler Stevens, who went purple last lap, all 6 carts are slowly starting to catch back up to the top 2. Again, as Tristan was talking about before, some of the guys are setting their tires up early. They're set up to come in a little bit later. And as we're talking about the 16-minute features plus 2 laps, I think most people are going to start experimenting here to figure out what's the best setup to do for a 16-lap race, because you don't want to go all out in the start and then be struggling for the last 10 minutes. So let's see here as the top 4 continue to bunch back up. We got about 5 minutes left as they make their way through 4 and 5, heading into turn number 6.
We see here as Aiden Rudolph is starting to catch up to the rear end of Drew Chappell. I'd like to say, just like you were saying, Aiden Rudolph might have gone out. Oh, Aiden Rudolph under attack from Payne Phillips. Payne Phillips is going to make it happen. Aiden Rudolph takes a quick look back to J.D. Lamping. Lamping is not going to make it happen through our turn 7-8 complex. So that is Aiden Rudolph now going 1 spot back. Now that is going to allow Stouffer and Chappell to pull a little bit out. But like I was saying before, it looks like maybe we have Aiden Rudolph set up for a little bit later of a run. So his tires might still be cold. He might still be able to come back later in this race. Payne Phillips right up on the rear bumper of Drew Chappell now. Stouffer still out in front with that silver helmet, green gloves. He has been able to maintain a good lead here throughout this whole race. We see Phillips deep up the inside into turn 6. Not going to make it happen. Going to allow Rudolph right up on the rear. Rudolph down the inside. Going to get a little bit there into Drew Chappell a little bit too. Not going to make the pass happen, unfortunately. Looks like Aiden Rudolph is now going to get passed by the likes of Lamping and Stevens into turn 1. It looks like Rudolph's just going to let them by, not really let the aggressiveness flow, and we are going to now see Aiden Rudolph drop back to the 6th place position.
Yeah, now he's going to make a pass back. He moves up one more position to go into P number 5. So that was him getting around. If I'm not mistaken, that was Stevens. So put Stevens back one more position. Rudolph back up 1. All the while, the top 2 looked like we're going to have a 6-car battle for the lead, and now it is spread back out. So that is both Stauffer and Chappell able to pull away. Phillips and Lamping just off in the distance. They're in the tow, but probably not as close as they want to be. We're now working 3 minutes and 30 seconds yet to go, so we are past halfway, but we still have 2 laps to go once the clock hits 0. And there is the leader in the lead pack. So that is Stauffer, followed by Chappell running in P2. Stauffer, I should say, and Chappell in P2. But your third placeman slowly starting to edge back up. Keep an eye on Peyton Phillips. That is running cart number 901 is slowly starting to catch up. And just like that, we have a 3-cart battle for the lead. Stauffer, Chappell, and Phillips, 1, 2, 3, nose to tail.
Definitely. Stauffer, Chappell, Phillips, your 3 main carts. Another thing, J.D. Lamping is purple, so he might be a factor here later in the race. I would like to know what's happening to Aiden Rudolph, falling a little bit back behind. He has fallen off. We have a pass for the lead, so we have Chappell down the inside. Chappell is now followed through by Phillips. That is going to make Nicholas Stauffer drop down to 3rd. Stauffer down to 3rd. So we have Chappell, your new leader, followed by Peyton Phillips. Peyton Phillips, purple last time by. As we see him lunge down to the inside into turn 6. Going to make it happen. We see a crossover move from Chappell. Not going to allow it. Stauffer now down the inside into turns 7 and 8. And that is going to allow the pack of Lamping, Rudolph, and Stevens up to the back. We now have a 6-car battle yet again, Caleb.
Yeah, Chappell went straight to the back bumper of Stauffer trying to push him back up. I think they all realized, hey, there's not a guy out there with the leader. He's by himself. And if we keep going back and forth like this, as now we see Rudolph down the inside, he moves himself back up into 4th. Let's see if he's going to be able to recoup. He is using this battle to his advantage of the 3 that are out in front, as we now see Phillips out. And let's see if Stauffer went straight to the back bumper, thought about possibly trying to make a move. But the top 6, again, bunched back up. We got just under 2 minutes still yet to go. So still a little bit of time erasing as we come across the line to turn one more lap. Look at that line of carts coming down into turn number 1. I don't think I've seen anything quite that beautiful as they make their way into turn number 1. Stauffer all over the back bumper of Phillips. Let's see if he's going to try to get his nose into turn 2. He does not. All the while, like we were talking about Rudolph, setting his cart up to be running late. Now takes a lunge down the inside. He's going to take 3rd away. And behind him, I believe that was Lamping trying to follow. Oh, it looks like there was maybe a little bit of contact farther back as we got a cart turned around.
There. That could be Lamping and Stevens having a little bit of an issue there through the chicane. So now we still have Phillips, Stauffer, Aiden Rudolph now up into 3rd with a decent gap back after that incident through our chicane. Now it looks like we have a driver back there a little bit farther back. That could be Logan McDonough. So we have Phillips out in front. A pass for the lead. Stauffer up the inside of Phillips. Phillips is not going to have it and cross him over. And Aiden Rudolph going to look through as well into turn 2. Aiden Rudolph going to make it stick. Now we have Phillips, your new leader. And Aiden Rudolph, like we were saying, set his cart up later into the race. Here he comes through now. A heavy hitter. So we have Stauffer now 3rd, pushing Rudolph in. Is Rudolph going to look down the inside of Phillips into turn 6? He is not going to. We have 40 seconds left on the clock, so they're going to get this lap plus another lap before they get 2 to go. So you're going to be looking down now. Is Rudolph going to make a passing attempt on Phillips, and is he going to be able to defend afterwards? But right now, Phillips out in front, leading. We've seen him leading pretty much most of the race. He's been really consistent as well as Stauffer. He's also been consistent. We have Rudolph down. We have a pass for the lead. Rudolph is your new leader. And we have Phillips dropping back down to 2nd. Stauffer now catching right back up to that 3rd place position. J.D. Lamping is trailing off in 3rd. Another pass for the lead. We have Phillips up the inside of Rudolph. Stauffer is going to try to go through as well. Rudolph is going to let Stauffer have the position. Phillips, yet again your leader. Stauffer up to 2nd here, Caleb.
Yeah, with the time expiring,
mechanical issue for J.D. Lamping.
Lamping is now off, and that's now 2 to go at the line. Down into turn 1. We got 3 carts all in the tow. There's a lapper out in front. Oh, and off goes the leader. That was Phillips running off. I think the lap cart may have caught him by surprise. So just like that, Stauffer's out in front, and here comes Rudolph for the pass back. Rudolph is now caught back up, and I believe Phillips may have just dropped a wheel because he is now on the back bumper. Stauffer, 2 to go at the line that last time. It's going to be the white flag this time. Rudolph out in front, Stauffer in P2, Phillips now in 3rd. Let's see how it's going to pan out. This time across the line, it is going to be the white flag heading into turn number 1. Right now, Rudolph has got the lead, but how much longer is that going to be for? 1 lap to go. Rudolph takes a peek back to see he's got 2 down. Goes a little low. Stouffer late on the brakes, and they almost go 3 wide out of 1. Stouffer has got the point into turn 2. Rudolph is going to have to funnel in, but here comes Phillips for the lead again. Rudolph lets him go into 3. Out of turn 3, coming through the chicane, no one can pass. They're still relatively close. Rudolph not close enough to make a move. And now your 4th placement of Stevens is now trying to see if he can't make a move on Rudolph. And here comes on the inside, Phillips back on point. And along goes Rudolph, and I believe that was Stevens into now 3rd. He is still side by side with Stouffer. Coming down to line, Rudolph doesn't quite have a good run. So that is Peyton Phillips from losing a wheel to being back on point. That is going to be Peyton Phillips with the win. Tyler Stevens finishing in 2nd. Stouffer in 3rd. Rudolph in 2nd. Stevenson in 3rd. Stouffer in 4th. And Logan McDonald finishing it in the 5th position after moving up 5 spots. We got one more heat race still yet to go. That is going to be your KAA versus D. So we're going to have that when we come back. Don't go anywhere and stay tuned.
Odenthal Racing Products, your #1 producer in engine mounts since 1992, along with our leading-edge designs and product development, such as the Odenthal Racing Products Easy GP camera mount, which comes in 4 different styles and can be used on any karting platform. To see our products online, go to odenthalracing.com.
I'm Billy Vincent, owner of MPG Motorsports. What we do at MPG is we try to keep it a nice, fun family atmosphere. Try to combine sort of the bigger things and of the bigger teams and the professionalism down with sort of some of the fun, sort of family-oriented atmosphere. We try to not only develop drivers, but also the parents and the families for just in knowledge in general in motorsports. It all starts in karting. What we try to do is try to help the drivers, the moms, the dads understand the sport of motorsports in general, not just karting, but what it takes to get all the way up through. Whether you end up wanting to be a driver or a mechanic or an engineer, you know, we can help you with that, and that's what we're here for. If you're interested in joining us at MPG, our home base is at Whiteland Raceway Park in Indianapolis, and you can contact us at info@willpowerkart.com. And one of our great people will reach out to you, and we'll try to put the best program together.
How you doing? My name is Mike Doty from Mike Doty Racing from Orange County, New York. We're about an hour north of New York City. We're a full-service kart shop that we supply IAME, Rotax, and all rock engines. We sell OTK parts and all the tires for all the different series. We support USBKS, SCUSA, Rotax, which is the Stars and Stripes, and the Rock Winter Tour. What we do is we try to get the drivers better by data, driver coaching, and setup. We have a lot of good drivers that come through our program. We have a lot of experience. I've been doing it for almost 35 years, and we just try to translate that to all our customers.
For more info about Mike Doty Racing, you can contact us at MikeDotyRacing@gmail.com or call us at 845-551-0572.
And welcome back here for round number 2. This is going to be the last heat race of the day. Unfortunately, we're going to switch over to live stream, but we still have this one yet to go. If you were called back roughly about 5 minutes, you saw a fantastic run there from our B versus C group. Now our front row, Alex Stanfield and Adrian Cruz. Our next behind them is going to be Vinny Miskelis and Dalton Towney, who is going to be in P number 4. So here's the second group of KAs making their way down to the line. And it is going to be a green flag, and a good jump there from Alex Stanfield is going to go on point. Second place is going to try to slot in of Adrian Cruz. I believe Cruz is now going to be back to third as we got one drop and a wheel coming into turn at number 1. So Cruz falls back to P3. Miskelis now up to P number 2. We got 7 minutes and 42 seconds. Still plenty of time for plenty of racing, Tristan.
Stanfield, your leader, way out in front now. Cruz fell back to third, but not for long as he lunges down the inside to take over that second place position from Miskelis. Is Miskelis going to try and dive back? He is not. So we have Stanfield out in front here now. We see Cruz looking over his shoulder. Looks like he's tuning that carburetor down the front straight here. That's a thing you don't see many drivers doing now. And we see a little bit of a bobble there from Miskelis getting off. Miskelis is going to try and go down the inside of Cruz. Cruz is not going to let it happen, as now we have Miskelis and Cadena. They're going to start battling. We have a few other drivers, Tracy and Dylan Town. They're going to start catching up to this lead pack here. We have a driver off. We have, that looks to be, not Miskelis. Oh, we have a driver way down the inside, almost 3 wide here. So that is a big battle here back for our, fourth place position here, Caleb.
Yeah, all sorts of pushing and shoving that is happening from that top field. There's the top 4, as I believe that was your 5th placeman putting their hand up in the air. I think that was possibly Kanata. And P number 5 had their hand up in the air. They didn't look too happy about something. I don't know if it's from how that start went. They have definitely lost sight of the leaders. You'll see them pop down at the bottom of your screen. There's the top 3, and then there's a battle from 4th on back. So it's actually Dylan Towney who wasn't too happy, and then the rest of the field, Josiah Tracy running in 6th. So your top 3 that are spread out and out in front of Alex Stanfield, Adrian Cruz, and Vinny Miskelis, they're all in an island of their own right now. They're not really close enough to each other to make any moves. They're all trying to catch back up. So right now what you're watching is the battle for 4th. That is led by Dylan Towney, followed by Kanata, and then also Josiah Tracy in 6th. There is your leader of Alex Stanfield. Had a very good start. And P2, Adrian Cruz, who went purple last lap, so he's slightly starting to close back up. Although we got just under 6 minutes still yet to go. He's got the time. He just has to be consistent. But as we know, Alex Stanfield and Adrian Cruz have been 2 of the heavy hitters when it comes here to the KA class.
Exactly. Alex Stanfield here yesterday in his heat race, he was able to pull away and pretty much take a very easy win here in his heat race 1. Likewise with Adrian Cruz. Adrian Cruz did the same thing where he pulled away and was able to take a very interesting lead here. So we have Stanfield out in front, Cruz second. Cruz not able to make up any time. Seems like he was only 0.02 of a second slower than Stanfield last time by. So they are going to maintain their gap here. Vinny Miskelis 1.5 seconds back from Cruz. They are going to start there. We're now looking at 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So we are looking at 4th, 5th, and 6th. So that's Town, Cadena, and Tracy now going into turn 6. Stanfield still your leader. Adrian Cruz, your purple driver. Not purple enough, though, as he is driving still behind Stanfield. A little bit farther back, Miskelis 3rd, Town 4th, Cadena 5th, and Josiah Tracy 6th.
Yeah, there's the 2 out in front. Cruz in 2nd. Again, went purple the last 3 laps. So he is definitely closing up to Stanfield out in front as they make their way through turn number 2. And you can visually see the gap continue to close back down. So Cruz has got that car just set to kill right now as he is trying to reel in Stanfield. The problem isn't catching back up. The problem is making your move. And if those two start to battle it out back and forth, which being as they are very experienced drivers, not only when it comes to the regional series, but also in the national, they know that you got to settle it back down, because if they go tooth and nail back and forth for the next 4 minutes and 30 seconds, we could easily see that rest of the group close up. There's the gap that they have over the 3rd placement of Miskelis. Miskelis is slowly starting to get reeled in to that 4th position of Dylan Towney. So now we're going to watch this top 2. If there's anything that happens back, we're probably going to peek back and take a look. But right now, Adrian Cruz able to close up what looks to be a 10 kart length disadvantage, is now barking at the back door of Stanfield, making the way through the crossover. Just minimalistic effort from that kart going over the curbs. Not a whole lot of bounce we've seen before. Down to the inside. Here comes Cruz. Is he deep enough? He's up on 2 wheels. It's bicycling a little bit. Takes the spot away from Stanfield. Stanfield now has a toe to his advantage. So let's see if he is actually quick enough to hang back onto Cruz, or if Cruz is actually just set to kill right now to pull away from the field.
Stanfield now lost that lead over Cruz. Cruz, a very fast go-kart, still purple here. we're going to have to see if Stanfield is going to be able to make a pass here. Muscella still third, 2.2 seconds down from Stanfield. Town, Kadena, Tracy, Ian Howell. Those are the leaders going back. So we have Cruz taking a very clean line through the chicane. He is like a rocket ship heading out of our turn 5 or 4-5 chicane here down into turn 6. As we saw there, we saw Adrian Cruz going up on 2 wheels while he was passing Stanfield. Very interesting thing we're seeing here this weekend in a lot of classes, these drivers going up on 2 wheels due to this Rhino liner on the racetrack, a very, very rough coating they put down over the track. It makes a lot of grip as these karts go through here along with these Avinco tires. We're now looking back here, that is 4th, 5th, and 6th. We're looking at Dylan Town, Kino Kadena, and Josiah Tracy. Is any move going to be made here? Not yet. That green kart of Dylan Town leading that pack 4th, 5th, and 6th. They go through the chicane down into turn 6. Is Tracy going to have a look up the inside of Kadena? Looks like he is not. So they are going to stay in line here. We have 2 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock here. So we still have many laps left for your leader, Adrian Cruz. Alex Stanfield, 3/10 behind. Vinny Muskelis all by himself there in 3rd. Oh, he's a little bit not by himself. The number 970 of Dylan Town is starting to catch up to the rear end of Vinny Muskelis. The question is, within our 2-minute gap, could he catch up to the rear end enough to make a pass? Adrian Cruz still out in front. We look back now, that's Town, Kadena, and Tracy. Still no move yet. Tracy is very close to the back end of Kadena, but he is not yet making a move. Up on 2 wheels goes Tracy. That's going to hurt him on corner exit. Just like we were saying earlier, this Rhino liner, Caleb.
Yeah, that Rhino liner adds so much grip, and as the day continues to get hotter, not as hot as it was yesterday, but still a decent amount of heat, and that just affects the karts because there's so much grip. That is Vinny Muskelis running in the 3rd position, very much in an island of his own right now. Definitely not close enough to the leaders, but also has a lot of insurance to the karts behind. He can afford to make a couple mistakes and still maintain that 3rd spot. Right now, he's just turning laps, letting the clock wind down so that he can get the points from finishing inside the top 3, and you can see that inside wheel picking up every now and then. So good run there from Vinny Muskelis. Just unfortunate that the top 2 are not close enough to him. There's a top 2, and there's the gap to 3rd as they make their way down into turn 1. Cruz, again, is pulling away from Stanfield, opening up a significant margin. Right now, it's probably in about the 6 to 7 kart length advantage for your leader of Cruz. And now Stanfield, either he had the kart set up to kill at the start or he has it set up to go way late in the race, is definitely struggling to try to maintain as we are now at 50 seconds yet to go. So we're going to get one more time by before they get 2 to go. There's the top 2 going by on your screen. So they continue to lead out in front. Again, Muskelis in 3rd, and then Town, Kadena, and Tracy are the 3 that are battling it out for the 4th spot. Hopefully we can switch back over to them soon so that we can see how that one is panning out as they make their way out of turn number 1. Still Cruz. Last time by, went purple yet again, so he has shown his dominance. I don't think that there's any chance for Stanfield to open back up, or close back up, I should say, and try to make a move as they're going to be coming up to 2 laps to go this time by.
Adrian Cruz in that Cruz Racing Development Kart, all out front by himself as he goes through turn 6. We see as he goes up on 2 wheels. We've seen him do that almost every lap here. It seems like that might just be his strategy. Less friction from the tires on the ground. Get around the corner a little bit faster. Alex Stanfield, 5/10 back from Cruz. Not enough to make a pass, unfortunately. We have 2 laps to go this time by. Cruz, your leader. Stanfield second. Muskelis way far back. So we have a 4.3 second gap from Alex Stanfield to Vinny Muskelis, your gap between 2nd and 3rd. Yet Stanfield is still almost 6/10 back from Cruz as we head into turn 6. I'd like to say Cruz almost has a very easy victory here. So as Cruz has won, if Cruz wins this race as well, he won his race yesterday. That's going to set him up very good for our final here today. 2 wins might put him in the pole position for our final here today. Cruz coming along, taking the 1 lap to go. That white flag out. Alex Stanfield second. Seems like the drivers have stayed very consistent over those 2. Stanfield still 0.58 seconds back from Cruz. 4.5 seconds back, however, is Muskelis from Stanfield. Town 4th, Josiah Tracy 5th, and Ashton Wilkins up to 6th. Seems like we have Peyton McDonald back to 9th. Adrian Cruz still just going his way through up on 2 wheels through turn 6. Very fun to watch him race, especially through that turn 6. A nice up on 2 wheels. Up on the curbing through our turn 7-8 complex, coming to take a very easy victory here in our K100 senior class for Heat A versus D. So as we look here, we have Adrian Cruz, your winner, followed by Alex Stanfield in that number 906 card. Vinny Muskelis is going to take 3rd. Dylan Town 4th, and Josiah Tracy rounds out your top 5. Now I'm going to let Caleb take it away to tell you about a little bit about our Kart Chaser Premium.
Yeah, so real quick, for all of you that are watching and who do not have a membership, we want to thank you guys for supporting us so far. We're going to go on to our lunch break, which means we'll be away for an hour and 15. And because of that, when we come back, we're going to come back on our premium subscription ship, and we're actually going to have one of the co-owners of Kart Chaser take a little bit of a microphone. Some of you don't hear behind the microphone or behind the camera. I'm joined here by the ever-lovely Trevor Blue.
Man, Caleb, it's been a day so far.
It has been a day.
Some good racing so far. I'm excited.
How you feeling behind the computer? How's it been so far
Dude,
for
I'm
you?
staring in, seen some crazy stuff. Some good racing going on, some crazy battles, good battles.
Yeah, you staying
all
busy?
over the place. Huh?
You staying busy?
I'm staying busy sitting here switching cameras, you know.
Okay, I'm happy for you.
But yeah, like Caleb said, we're about to sign off here on the free stream. We'll be going over to the members only for our main events later. It is $10 a month on any computer or Android device. If you do it on an iPhone, they charge you an extra like $3. So we don't get that. Apple takes it, like we always say. It helps us a lot here. It is expensive to do this stuff. It is really expensive to do this stuff. So we want to bring you guys as many races as you can. Those memberships really help. And I'm excited for this main event later. I think it's worth the $10 just for the KA race later.
Well, and keep in mind, if you pay that $10 for the premium, you don't just get TSRS. You
Nope.
get SCUSA,
Yep.
USPKS,
Yep.
ROW, and STARS.
Also Rock.
And ROC.
Yeah, we won't be at Rock until November for Vegas, but we will have that one coming up. But yeah, no, this KA is going to be crazy. I mean, there's a lot of people that could take it. Cruz was flying. Stanfield's a hometown guy, so he knows his track in and out. I believe Stouffer's a hometown guy as well, but we've had guys all over. So I don't know who could take it. It's going to be a good one, so make sure you guys sign up. We're going to go off and end this stream here. We're going to start the members-only stream. But like we said, we are on lunch break, so it's going to be about an hour till we're back. I'll put a little timer on there for you guys so you can watch and see when we're coming back. But until then, thank you guys for watching.